Why am I being weird?
Yeah.
I'm being weird because, sorry, I'm a little bit late because I was at Walmart shitting all over. Just all over.
Those are the best stories for the internet.
You want to hear about? I'm going to tell you all about my shit. It was everywhere. It was just as they call it, the trail of smears down the clothing aisle until I got to the. You know what's funny? What's funny about that story is I feel like you ever watch Step Brothers?
Yep.
Okay, so there's that scene where Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly are doing interviews, and they go in to interview for a janitor job with Seth Rogen, and they're wearing tuxedos. And he's like, "Oh yeah, it's kind of cool. You're cleaning toilets, but you're in a tuxedo. That's kind of funny. That's cool." And their interview's weird, but it goes well. And then finally, John C. Reilly just rips ass, and it really stinks. And Seth Rogen's like, "Oh man, dude, you just did that in the middle. Ugh." And he's disgusted with him, and he goes, come to think of it, the tuxedos are kind of fucked up. That's kind of fucking stupid. That's how I feel about the quartering, his story of shitting himself in Walmart. I feel like if anyone else told that story, you'd be like, ugh, gross. Gross. You
didn't he do it as like some kind of challenge or something? Like
it was
got
like
so many subscribers or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
So many subscribers is why he told it. He didn't.
Yeah, that's why he told
himself on purpose for subscribers. Although he would do that.
Oh, he would absolutely.
just like Divas would.
If the opportunity came up, yes.
Elder Ham and Elder Hack. I didn't notice that.
You want to know what the AI came up with that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So give him 2 H names, single syllable. Yeah, well, his was Ham, and then the other one was I give the second one a name because I said Hambly, and it just came out Ham, and then do the other one an H, and it's heck yeah. There's a lot of crossover. There's a lot of similarities between these two chefs. Don't you think?
There really is.
Except for I don't think Dives is a sex pest.
I don't know if he had the type of power that Quartering got and was able to throw money at girls to come be part of the show. You don't think he would have started doing that and do the sneaky effort thing? Not to get in their pants, but just to get the adoration of them.
It's not that I don't think he would do it because he's a twatish sociopath. It's just that I don't think he has yet, or like we don't have any proof that he's done anything like that. So
yeah, you can't. I mean, I wouldn't toss it as he has done that. Although, I mean, both of these guys in the same way, they throw their names out and toss their name out, and I guess what would you call it? Fraternizing. They throw their name out to everybody. Sooner or later, they come across anybody in the particular scene that they're looking for. But if Divas had gotten there at the same time that Hambly had gotten there, just for like the wave of algorithms and the wave of channels growing, he would have grown like Hambly did, just in the same way. Because did you watch the extended documentary on the June King documentary?
Oh yeah,
I did watch that.
I've been watching nothing but. You want to know my favorite story from all of the Hambly drama is my favorite because if the first time I heard it, it's been like seriously. I've been listening to that Kino Casino just shit on him since like last November.
Yeah, you'd been telling me about it, and I just kind of like maybe listened to 2 minutes here and there, but now I've been on it like.
What happened is I got one of his stupid ass videos in my algorithm, and I got mad, and so I just went out looking for people shitting on him, and I was like, I'll even listen to lefty douchebags at this point shit on him because he's easy. No, I found Kino Casino, and my favorite story. I was so completely unsurprised when I heard it was that time that Tim Pool got swatted midstream.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And for some reason, Jeremy was like in charge of his chat while he left. So
he was?
It was something like that. Somehow the Quartering got this ability to he super chatted. That's all it was. Is somehow he got his super chat up there to advertise coffee brand coffee. It was like the dumbest thing. It was like, yikes, scary stuff.
He advertised it?
Yeah.
He really did that?
He advertised it during, like, they didn't even have time to take down the live stream.
Oh, my gosh, man.
So it's live streaming Tim Pool's studio with nobody in the seats, and all you can see is a giant coffee brand coffee ad at the bottom.
That's
Oh,
pretty classic.
that was one of my favorite. And I heard it and I was like, yeah, it's not even a little bit surprising.
It's one of those things because, like, you know, whatever, years and years ago when he first came on my radar, I watched him for a bit because, you know, I was following that whole thing about Magic the Gathering going woke. And then I very quickly like, all right, well, I think he said everything he can possibly say about that at least twice now. And then ever since then, it's just been the whole joke about like, all I need to do is hear the first 30 seconds and I can turn the video off. And I haven't watched him in ages, except for I think once or twice you guys brought something up. And like, and I didn't even realize that he was this big a deal.
Well, he divas into everything the same way like we came across divas, everybody else came across divas. Is he throws himself out to everybody at the first of the start. Like if you had started growing as any sort of channel, he would be up our ass. You know what I mean? Like if we had, it's just how he was. But he was doing it. I mean, this documentary here is by June the King. If people want to see 3 hours and 30 minutes on the extended lifetime of Jeremy the Quartering, the guy who was the divas of, I don't know what you'd call it, like the anti-woke world or something.
Like, one thing I learned from that documentary, I didn't realize, because like I thought that he was like just like a casual nerd streamer.
No.
And then he got kind of thrust into the limelight.
He gamed the game.
And
like
I didn't realize that, I didn't realize that he was mundane matting it from the very beginning.
He gamed it from 75 different channels. He tried 15 different things. He put stuff out. One of the reasons he was always in the top of our algorithms, which was one of the only reasons I'd ever watch him, was because he'd pay for stuff like that. Do you know how much money they were saying for some of the SEO stuff he was paying to be at the top of the YouTube algorithm? They're saying it could have been up to $1 million a quarter.
Ugh.
For some of the stuff, the way, because do you know how like there was a time frame back in the day where we were like, we never watched Fox News, but it always pops up in my YouTube afterwards. And for a long time, it was Daily Wire, Fox News, or Jeremy the Quartering. And those three paid for that. That's how they were there. That's how they were up in those situations where they got pushed and got all the extra views. And it's one of the reasons, like, well, both because Daily Wire's channel is failing the same way right now. And some people kind of posit or say that the Daily Wire kind of benefited not only from COVID era, but they also benefited from the time frame of everybody else getting banned except them. Yeah. So it's like kind of like a sneaky thing of like, well, better not ban Nick Fuentes, better not, all that sort of stuff. But they were able to stay as a preferred client customer and paid for some money to stay in the algorithms.
But the Daily Wire also does have some amount of talent and stuff.
Yeah.
Jeremy is a complete beneficiary of playing it safe and like neutering.
Yeah, he has no opinions.
Oh no, God, no, he doesn't. But he would neuter himself just as much as YouTube wanted, so he could stay on YouTube, and so nobody could listen to anybody else. So that's why he stayed all right. And
well, one of the first things that really threw me off about him, because for years I'd see him as just being, back when Mundane Matt was big. You used to watch the Mundane Matts, didn't you, Flip?
No,
never.
I literally he came on my radar when that kill stream, the
legendary
kill stream came on, which I listen to like once every couple of years. I re-listen to that just because it's just so amazing to see like just a bald-faced sociopathic liar like have their lie unwound in front of them live on the air, like
which is what's happening to Jeremy right now, which is what happened to divas. Like we're seeing the exact, I mean, it almost mirrors a divas thing in a whole lot of different ways. They're a bit different people, but I mean, Jeremy's gluttony embodied, you know what I mean? But one of the things that it's so funny because we've probably been ragging on Jeremy from the start of this, right? Because we've
never brought him up without shitting on him.
We bring him up and joking about pitching some sort of product within 30 seconds of every single video. We've been bringing up for years, but there was a large contingent or group of people on YouTube who just figured out that you could be just a quick news summarizer and be the first on the scene, and you'd get a bunch of clicks and you'd get a bunch of money for it.
Yeah,
and
Tim Pool at least has the cred that he was doing like citizen journalism.
Yeah, he had prior journalism credit.
Like,
for
and he
sure.
did, yeah, like he did genuine journalism.
But I mean, so many different
some-
people on YouTube do it. Like We Are Changed, Luke Rudowski. Like if you ask me, like his channel's not, but like it's some sort of clickbait title, and then before you hear anything, you're getting pitched a 3-minute thing for some sort of man juice to make your man bits more flexible or some sort of stuff like that. And I'm so tired of dumpy right-wing people selling me health shit. I'm tired of it. And just across the board, even Dave Smith, like him and Luis J. Gomez now have like a power coffee, super power coffee, get your testosterone in order. It's good for you. Flip already knows my problem with the good for you thing. Like I have no concept of what good for you means.
I was actually just telling somebody the other day, I wish we had it somewhere, like just as a clip. But when you did Lindsay Park's podcast, and I just remember where like you did like the whole long, tedious, super detailed rundown of everything that a fitness model does in the 12 months leading up to the photo shoot, and then they shoot them, put them on the cover of the magazine with the headline that says "Eat blueberries," and there's like that summary that you did. I thought was so perfect about just how that grift works. Where it's like, like they say eat blueberries, but like, no, these people counted like I've seen you do, like literally weighing your rice on a scale down to the gram, running 10 miles every single morning, going through the whole bulk and cutting cycles, all that shit, getting the spray tan, all that crap. But then they're
then you dehydrate yourself so that the blood veins stick out harder. And then right before you shoot, you suddenly like shoot some sort of wine or some sort of thing like that. So they'll shoot out extra hard and you get certain lighting for it. And then they take a picture and say, dark chocolate's good for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Some sort of shit like that. And you're like, I haven't had dark chocolate in 2 years. Like, what are you talking about? And it's so just ridiculous. But even the concept good for you, as we've gone over before.
Well, how many phytonutrients does dark chocolate have in it?
Does it have flavonoids, and will they cure my cancer?
Also, while we're on this subject, what the fuck are phytonutrients?
I see that word. I see it on billboards in Utah County, which is like there's two kinds of billboards. I guess there's 3 billboards in Utah County. Weird, like ads for tech companies where the ad doesn't tell you anything the tech company does. Bullshit MLM phytonutrient super juices, and then plastic surgery, and that's all the advertising. Well, I guess there's Missionary at Mall. There's the Missionary Mall billboard, but that's all the billboards in Utah.
This is the problem. This right here, Neil Green. He teaches you how to get a 6-pack, and unfortunately, the problem with it is there's nothing to sell with it. You drive around eating tuna in your car.
I don't need much to live.
That's what you want to see my cans. I have that many cans.
No, I like it.
This is all you need. This is everything you need, Luke Rudowski. Yeah, you do tend to swerve up the Park City Road if you're eating tuna out of the can like that. And then when you go to clean out your car, it looks just like this.
Now, like I can testify, like I've seen Chris's face. Like for him, eating is a chore. Like the same face that you make when you have to take out the kitchen garbage is the face that Chris makes when he has to eat a meal, because it's another can of chicken and reheated brown rice.
I'm not gonna lie, man. It's been hard keeping girlfriends with it. They want to go to Applebee's and Taco Bell and watch a Marvel, and I can't do any of that stuff. I'm too Neil Breen, man. I'm too much out of this world, dude. I'm out of this world. I gotta eat the tuna and I gotta hack the biosystems.
We got Chris out to Sunday Breakers for the first time in a year, and I even made a point of like, Chris Hanna is coming to Breakers. We'll go to the only restaurant that I know he enjoys, and he ordered tacos for his mom for Mother's Day and drank a Diet Coke and didn't even eat glorious Mexican food at the legitimately world famous Mexican restaurant. And it's just like, yeah, it's insane. But like, I've just grown to accept it. I mean, I remember a time like 10 years ago after one of your cuts when it was Christmas time and you had been eating clean for like a year and like you were breaking, like you were doing your annual not eating clean thing, and it was Christmas time, so you bought one of those novelty half-pound Reese's peanut butter cups, and we watched him eat it like it was a show. We're like, oh my god, he's gonna eat like processed candy, And like we were all just enraptured by this because like it's something we don't see.
That's the thing, because I hide my shame when I go off the rails. But when I go off the rails, I can go off the rails, and it's usually for like a month at a time when I go off the rails. But right after my first competition, I'm not joking. I'm not even saying this as a joke at all. I think I cleaned out all the Starbursts out of every single one of the downtown convenience stores that were open after 11, like the whole entire downtown place. And I finished them all and I had all the wrappers in my living room. And yeah, that alone would have shocked you right there. But anyway, this is all just to say those stupid supplements that they sell you are just shit to make your piss more expensive. Like, you are not getting anything, and nothing is good for you. But at the same time, too, the concept of good for you, when I do that stuff, it is straight like a calculation of energy in, energy out. That's all I'm doing. I'm calculating energy in. The only other calculations are how can you stay so low and possibly stay satiated. That's the only calculation that I'm doing. But good for you can be anything. Like that answer to the what was that McDonald's movie? The
Super Size Me.
Super Size Me. Some guy made a thing later where he lost weight at McDonald's, and
MIT had an entire class at MIT did it.
And it's the same thing. And the answer is like, if I just walked through like a desert and I'm very, very hungry, a cake is good for you. You know what I mean? There's like, I don't know what good for you means. Like at any given time, anything can be good for you if it's sustenance, you know?
Like all of the Arctic expeditions failed. And the principal thing that was different about the first Arctic expedition that worked, the first time this succeeded, the thing that they had that nobody had before that made it work was peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
That they brought huge amounts of peanut butter, and peanut
butter.
If
you're crossing the Antarctic, it's all good for you. It's all going to be bent away. One of the reasons I have to be so strict is I have a dumb desk job. If I was doing the same competitions I was doing, but my day job was some sort of construction, it'd be a whole different calculus. I probably would have to not like lose too much weight, work in some sort of ice cream here or there weekly.
That is something I genuinely lament that I don't have anymore since my mission. Something I loved about being on my mission was riding my bike everywhere, every day, because like it did not matter what I ate at all, and I was in the best shape of my life. But you know, when you're riding a minimum of 20 miles every single day, no matter what, like that's how that goes. You don't have to think about it. Well, that's the thing I always like when I was a kid, I thought it was weird. It was like, you know, like how is it that like the traditional American breakfast is eggs, bacon, and pancakes, or you know, biscuits and gravy? It's like, well, that makes sense if you're a farmer. If you're a farmer, like, oh yeah, that's you need to eat like that. But like once again, like when you're a desk job guy and you're eating eggs, bacon, and pancakes, like that's just fat and dessert and calories, you know.
Also, I mean, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. My IFBB pro trainer, who trained me for the local competitions that I did, he was the recipe creator of one of those fancy MLM acai berry juice drinks, right? He created the recipe. Guess how much he gave to us when we were competing?
0.9.
Zero. Never even mentioned. Never brought up. Never suggested. You know. So there you go. But buy Luke Radowski's creatine, which creatine's already marked up to shit. So now it's just marked up to shit more from some online geek or something like that. Anyway, all the way back to Hambly. This really, I don't know. I think this is almost kind of like worth watching just to understand when you're getting on YouTube or whatnot. If people have like gotten up in the algorithms, they've probably done some sort of grind like this guy. He was the grindiest of grinder, like and of course there's something about the wave of YouTube. Like you had to be there at a certain time of wave. Like I said, if Divas was there in 2010, he would have surpassed John DeLynn. And one of the only reasons DeLynn is there is because he was there at the right time, and Larson was there before him, and Larson probably would have grown as much as DeLynn ever did if he kept going. Flip and I constantly mentioned that Larson was the bigger podcast at first, by far.
Oh yeah, and better by far.
Yeah, and it probably would have grown like as much as that one And some of it's catching the wave, man. It's just like getting in the stock market at the right time and all that sorts of stuff. But he got on the wave and he did all this thing. And one of the biggest things that seemed sociopathic to me, the first time he seemed crazy to me and I didn't understand what was going on, is I remember he went on Nerdrotic when they were kind of just starting out, and he chastised them for doing the wrong thing for the algorithm. You know, like they had their weekly show where they sit around for a couple hours, a group of friends, and talk about all the different shows for the things and all that sorts of stuff. And he seemed 100% convinced and concerned that all they cared about was growing and getting the channel big, not to talk about the thing that they were talking about. You know, he was just he was like, what are you doing? This isn't the way to grow the channel. This isn't the way to get the algorithm. This isn't the way to boost it. Like, what are you doing? And they recently had another fight about that because he criticized all of them for saying that their type of talking about Hollywood stuff is down. It's down in the algorithm, so they should drop it. I don't know why they're still doing it. It's down. It's dead. And they're like, dead or not dead or whatever. It's our subject. Like, what are you talking about? You know, we're not sitting here trying to chase the algorithm. We'll ride it up or down as people catch interest in this stuff. It'll come and go as Christopher Nolan does something goofy, you know, or it comes around and then it goes around, you know. There's and they were just like so confused. But it's one of the things, like when he's constantly talking and he's always on these streams, I also don't understand the thing of like talking to your audience about almost every single show, talking about, you guys, how am I going to grow the channel? How am I going to grow? How are we going to do this? Like and subscribe. Make sure to buy the coffee. What's some sort of ideas to grow the channel? Like, why are we invested in growing your channel? Give us content, dude. Like, what?
It is
like,
so
tell us
fucking
the
annoying
next thing that you're talking about.
No, it's a business meeting. They have like fucking business meetings midstream.
Yeah.
And the I can't imagine guilting people. Guys, I really hate doing. They always start
constantly saying how
I really
hate
doing
down.
this. And then, well, with Quartering, the problem is he's also too full of himself. So he loves to flex his wealth, you know. So he can't help but flex his wealth sometimes, and then at other times, guys, the channel's under attack. We're dying. We're going down. We really need your help. We got to get. Blah, 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 blah. I can't imagine like begging people for money. I don't know. I feel like I have too much shame. Like if I had this big YouTube channel that was going down, because like, man, Luke Radowski's even more pathetic to watch about it, because he's not as much of a douche as Jeremy, but just watching him freak out, because his channel was huge way back in the day. Like
it's dropping, but
it's dropped a shit ton, and he's like in full blown panic mode on any stream. Guys, I don't know what's happening. My channel's going down in views, and I really want to have a kid soon, and I just don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. Please share this with your friends. Oh my God, please. And I feel like if that were me, I'd be like, man, you know what really sucks is I'm going to have to get an actual job now. I'm pretty pissed about that, but you know, I'll still do a video every now and then.
Because I mean, what's his bucket? AJW just did a thing about creators going broke, and like he's just like, well, yeah, you guys all like they all spend at the level that they're earning when they're at their peak. They start spending immediately. You know, they're buying huge houses and all that stuff. And of course, they grow broke. And he's like, you know, like he says, like, I'm doing great. I'm doing nowhere near the level that these guys are doing, but I'm doing great. Like, but he's like, I have a 2-bedroom apartment. You know, I bought a reasonable car. I
can stick to my channel concepts because I'm just going with the news. And he actually searches out real news stories. He's not just, oh, I guess what's in the news today, guys. I don't know what's in the news today. Let me see what's in the news. Let me very slowly read the news to you today. Like he doesn't even care. No, he's just looking for what's out there. But actual Justice Warrior, if he's doing a story, he cares about the story every single time he's doing one.
Oh, he's researched the fuck out of it.
But then he's going to also ride his theme. Like if it's up or if it's down, or if it's up or if it's down, you know, he's not, which is one of the weird things that tripped me out when I sat down with the Ward Radio guys. When I sat down with the Ward Radio guys, I thought we were just going there to chat it up and, you know, whatever. They sat down and they sat there and looked up things to say or things to write at the beginning or the ways to put it to make it catch the SEO better. And we sat there and they were sitting there doing that and checking like all the different things that might catch attention or might be something that grows or might be something that people care about or avoid this. Nobody likes that type
There's
stuff.
there's a couple of reasons why we never have a lot of viewers. There's probably like 3 main big ones. There's one, like, we're pretty fucking niche, you know, like it's not a lot of people who are like, you know, Trump's not like the worst. Also, I'm not a Mormon anymore. Also, you know, atheism's not that bad. Also, like, just the
Also,
laundry list of shit.
Mormons aren't that bad. We
Yeah, I
don't
know.
dunk on them that hard, but maybe here
So
and
there's not a
there.
lot. That's one reason. Another reason is because we don't do that stuff. You know, we don't like research like how to capture more audience. But also, I can't bring myself to sensationalize shit. Like make things seem like the worst thing in the like the Jimmy Kimmel
temple zoning.
No, I know.
They're trying to build a temple.
Okay,
I'm thinking about
think about this. Divas almost took down this channel. He struck us twice. He struck us twice, and one more could have like taken us down, or if somebody else had done it, or something like that.
Our channel's under attack.
We could have gone to like every single one, you know, cross post like Jackson Washburn does across every single thing. We're being attacked by. So we just laughed about it, and I texted him and called him a pussy.
If you want to be a big show, you got to sensationalize dumbass things, which is essentially, it's like incentivizing BPD catastrophizing, right? So like the Jimmy Kimmel joke that he said about Melania having the glow of an expectant widow. And like everyone had to act like that was just beyond, like he just stepped too far. That's too much. I'm like, well, okay, first off, it's the closest thing to a funny joke that Jimmy Kimmel has told in years. All right. It wasn't that funny, but it's, you know, a little bit of wordplay. Instead of it's expectant mother, it's expectant widow, but yeah, whatever. Also, he said it before the assassination attempt. And also, I don't really care if he said it after the assassination attempt instead of before. And that nobody wants to hear that take. Not a single person in the world wants to hear that take. They want to hear like calls for Jimmy Kimmel's blood, or they want to hear like a defense of how that was the funniest thing ever and how freedom of speech is on the line if we're going to fire him for that. Like,
yeah,
we were just like, we were a little bit like Stacker. Ugh, no.
Oh. Yeah.
I'll be right back.
I mean, sensationalizing is one of the reasons I couldn't like work in the fitness industry either. Like part of the fitness industry is making people think that they continuously need you, or you're not going to keep getting paid. And the truth is everything you ever needed to know, you should be able to learn in a week. You know, maybe if you wanted to refresh for a couple weeks or something, just doing each of the different types of lift multiple times with somebody. But there's stringing people along. You have to like create some sort of necessity for you by keeping information withhold, or not telling them right exactly what you're doing or what the general concepts are, or some sort of thing like that. Make them reliant on you. And even the best of them that are working in it know that they have to do that. They have to keep the people wanting to come back when they don't need to. You should know all that you need to know very, very fast. You know, let me see here. Anyway, this whole documentary was really, really interesting. And of course, I had never known like the details of how he gamed his channel up, but I 100% assumed it was there. And I assume that it's there in most of the people that you end up seeing kind of rising through the ranks, or have seen rise through the ranks in YouTube. I watched this. I have a clip of it. I don't think I'll pull up now, but there's weird little things in our society that seem perfect for game theory to raise the sociopaths. You know what I mean? It's going to raise not just government. You know what I mean? Almost anybody that we end up seeing, there's kind of something not really fully natural about them if they get up to the level that you're watching them all the time. But so we talked about already. Cheesy Sub says, you know, Dark Side Phil and DSP. This is all the same area of stuff. These are what happened is Jeremy here was a sociopath. He was sociopathic, like growing his channel and then doing a bunch of things of like trying to hire up women and then treating them creepily and doing all sorts of weird stuff to them. Some people started calling it like the Me Too of the right or stuff like that. But while being married, he'd kind of say creepy stuff to them or whatever. And then it kind of got leaked out that he was possibly a cuck and had a bull. So that's just people figuring out weird drama, kind of looking into somebody's life or something like that. So they started teasing these couple of guys, Kino Casino and Andy Worski, who are guys who've been part of that blood sports era, that whole area where Dark Side Phil and DSP became popular, the blood sports internet debate bro universe that blew up and fell apart and blew up and fell apart and blew up and fell apart 10 times over because that was its own shit show. They're the ones who brought up the general concept of a lol cow, an LOL cow, somebody that is going to be your continuous source, your continuous milk of idiocy to turn to laugh at, to see just kind of how goofy or nutty or sociopathic or money, like how much they'll tap dance for money or some sort of thing like that. Anyway, Kino Casino and I'll pull up their channel here real quick. And Andy Worski, these guys right here, they were just teasing and joking on him. Like Jared said, he started noticing that he was teasing and joking on him. And we had been teasing Jared Hambley, the quartering, for a long time because he's just at the top of every algorithm. And I would click on some of them. Like Flip said, he wouldn't even click on them. I'd click on some of them because one of the things that he would do is just be constantly vigilant of some sort of Twitter drama. So if anybody anywhere had some sort of fight going on Twitter, he'd kind of be first to put up a video about it, try to sell his coffee in 30 seconds, and then tell you the basic Twitter drama. If you're sitting there on Twitter, you don't need him. You'll see it yourself. You'll see it yourself from what's trending. Or if you have just regular news stuff or some sort of thing like that. But if you're walking around and you don't know what's going on, or you're kind of not just sitting there staring at Twitter all day, he was kind of just a quick catch up for maybe some sort of Twitter drama out there. And he'd put out 3, 4, or 5 videos a day. He wouldn't do more or less because he'd completely get in line with what an algorithm does. So he would know, he would like look into the details, because sometimes the algorithm would say if you posted too much, if you posted 6 times a day, it would pull you down in the algorithm. He wouldn't do that. And then it would say, you could watch all these channels. Tim would do it. He would do it. All like the top gamers of this stuff. If you go back years ago, you'd see them post a 2-minute video. Then after a while, they started posting 10-minute videos, even though the videos had no business being 10 minutes. Why would they do that? Because there would be a new change in the algorithm. There'd be a change. And this is one of the big things that's coming up that people are talking about right now. I just heard V talking about, who's another version of this, a Romanian version of this, but V doesn't sell stuff.
He dropped off of my algorithm years ago. In fact, I was just thinking the other day, wonder what happened to him.
Well, I mean, he probably didn't rise because he doesn't play the game all the way. He does kind of fill you in the news constantly.
Well, maybe he's a doctor, right? He has like
he's got a doctor and he got married and he had a kid and all that sorts of stuff.
Because I loved his, like, my favorite thing that he did was when he talked about life in communist Romania. And like that was the stuff that's the only stuff that really.
Oh, and he has good stuff. He's better but he does kind of keep you up to date on Twitter things, and he's not ever selling anything. Yeah. So that's better too. But he does post a lot of videos like this is going on right now, type stuff. And so you can kind of learn about this drama, that drama, this fight, that fight, who's beefing with who, this Twitter thing, some news, some sort of stuff. Just kind of keeping in touch of what people call being extremely online, but you had kind of a small group of people on YouTube who would be extremely online for you if you just took 10, 15 minutes to listen to their couple different things. But you'd always have to sit through their sales pitches, which got so stinking annoying, you go crazy. And but some people are like really good about it. Like if they did a sales pitch, like they'd change the color of their screen through the sales pitch, so you could fast forward past it and stuff like that. That's like what Brett and Heather Hang do, or
other people. Some time ago, I'm not sure exactly when, but YouTube added a thing that, like, when they start their
skip ahead thing,
and it's like like commonly skipped part of the video, and like it's just YouTube just takes you.
I'm positive. I'm positive that stuff goes away for sales. It goes away for sales. Like sales companies lobby or push them to stop doing that because it takes away from.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because like, isn't that YouTube undermining their own creators? Or
for sure it was, and that's why it goes away and everything. And the reason like a 10-minute video would change from a 2-minute video is it would give them a chance to not only have Jeremy Hambley. Like I have YouTube Red, so I don't have the stupid YouTube video commercials. But if I had to listen to Jeremy Hambley not on Red, I would have to listen to his dumb sales pitch and then listen to some sort of commercial that comes from YouTube. Like, and if it was a 10-minute video, they could put 3 of them in there. But one of the things is like if you have a long video like this or whatever, you can choose how many YouTube ads you put in there. And people like I think Diva's got in trouble for this or something once. But as soon as you're monetized, him and Hambly, they would put like way too many commercials in it. They'd put like 17 commercials in the freaking thing.
Yeah, and as soon as you're finally done with the second YouTube commercial break, you're coming back to a 20-minute long coffee brand coffee ad.
Yeah, their own thing. But it's the same. Like if I watch like the Daily Wire Roundtable or the Crossfire or something like that, they do so many pitches.
Oh yeah,
it's like almost unlistenable. And you kind of go like, wait a minute, I can at some point almost tell that you guys are just kind of trying to get from pitch to pitch and just kind of give a few sound bites before. It's almost like listening to Fox News. When I accidentally listened to Fox News for the first time in a few weeks ago, and I was just shocked at how scripted and shit it sounded.
That's one of the likable things about Matt Walsh is anytime you watch the like the backstage, whatever the Daily Wire thing is, they'll like take turns doing the ad read, and they have this,
they'll call attention to their segue every time.
Oh yeah, they think they're so fucking. Oh, that was such a nice segue, Michael Knowles.
Seamless segue. Whoa.
Well, yes, this deal in Iran is killer, but you know what's killer is he got him.
Oh my gosh!
Like Matt Walsh, you could tell it eats his soul every time he has it do it, because anytime he does it, he just he doesn't even do the segue. Yeah. He's just like, anyway, you need to get NordVPN.
Now add over.
Anyway, these guys, Kino Casino, were just ripping on him for what we used to rip on him for. But they'd kind of go further and like listen to him and listen like how much he screwed up his talking, how much dead air there'd be on air whenever he was speaking. If he was trying to live stream, how bad he was at it. Like if you think his 10-minute videos are bad, his live streams were like he couldn't keep up with chat and listen and watch and talk at the same time. So he'd go around and he'd purchase all these people from other channels. He bought a bunch of people off of Tim Pool's channel, all the different girls that Tim Pool had working. He got Luke Rudowski from them. He put Styx Hexenhammer on. He got Sydney Watson, which there's a weird thing about Sydney Watson and Melanie Mack that they've ended up on all these different channels too. And in a weird way, they kind of become like in WWE wrestling, they call them like ring rats. They're ring rats, these girls who just follow all the and end up with each of the different wrestlers sooner or later. There's a different ring rat girl who's, now she's with Brett. Now she's with Heartbreak Kid. Oh, now she's over with Triple H. Oh, now she's, type deal. There's something about them that's totally for sale, and Mean Girl and every single feministy thing that you ever imagined. But I mean, I guess we'll get into that. But just to get all the way around to it, he was always purchasing people up from other people's channels, offering him way tons of money. People would go to him and kind of treat him as an upper godfather because the way he gamed the system, he had by far the most viewers and would probably get kind of the most payment out every month, even though it's become obvious and apparent that he was just dumping that money into more SEO or into paying other people or into his own crap or stuff like that. But he got a ton of money from the way he's doing that stuff. Then people would bow to him because people like that, it's one of the things I never do either. Like I never pay attention very much to subscribers and views. Like I don't look at the major channels that I'm looking at. I just don't. I don't even think of it. I just think if like the subject interests me or not. Which,
yeah.
Speaking of which, one of the things they did just announce that one of the SEO changes, I was just telling you guys, they just changed the SEO that they're not going to reboost in the algorithm people that you've watched. They're going to reboost in the algorithm subject matter that you've watched.
I hate it so much because that means I got the same exact thing as you. I was in the exact same two niches as you when that happened. It was Jeremy Hambly drama and cave accidents.
Yeah.
And I keep getting it from, oh my God, I hate kick streamers so fucking much. I mean, these guys are pretty entertaining, but holy shit, some of the people I have to listen to talk. Well, I don't have to. I
kind of can't tell from all the different things if I'm getting the real thing. I'm looking for these guys and for their original, and it's a ton of different other channels who are just kind of re-showing their stuff in clips.
Oh, they don't have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, because it got that's the point we were getting to, is as they were just goofing on Jeremy for being a big fat doink and maybe a cuck and a drunk and being goofy with his money and the way he kind of would steal away other people and that sort of stuff, which is stuff that divas all did. If people, there's lore about divas going back that he tried to work with all sorts of different people or bring on all sorts of different people. Maybe even did it to Colch. We saw in the chat earlier, Colch didn't know that he had a parasite attaching to him. he would do that stuff and they were just goofing on that. And because he was doing that and him having 2 million subs, the people would say that he'd have a direct Indian who would help. How do they always put it? They always say like you have your own personal Indian who will take your, so YouTube, we would never be able to talk to a person at YouTube. We would only ever get some sort of system or algorithm or AI. But if you get to Jeremy Hambley's level, you get
a non-Indian.
You get a handler. You get a person who will do what you ask them to do on YouTube. And he would go around bragging and flexing about that. And so he went and bragged and flexed about that after these guys were joking about his wife and said it to some people like an idiot on some other channels. And then then suddenly their channel got taken down. And in YouTube creator land, that is sin number 1, maybe, right? It's the top.
Yeah.
It's the top sin, which Divas did, and Divas did to other people. But
I mean, that's like, because he did it to us as if we're competition.
I know.
Like, that's what's like. I mean,
he's just
it's
being a
not
dickbag.
Yeah, it's pure spite.
But Cording would do that too. He took down some way lesser channels. It wasn't just that. He took down anybody who was talking about him. A bunch of channels at the same time went away and went down. And they're just like, oh my gosh, he has that type of pull. And he did that and he bragged about it. And then he won't, just like when Divas did the stuff with Colch, where he obviously did, if people don't remember, over a Mormon News Roundup, Colch had a channel that was going and bubbling all sorts of stuff and started getting harassed by somebody who would put up the picture of his own real picture online, acting as if it's him. And there's a whole episode on Mormon Discussions Live that I think is still up, that if you go get into it, they did some detective work and figured out that it was Divas, the person who was putting himself up as a fan or one of the, not a fan, almost kind of like a associate, a helper of Colch, and they'd have shows and different things and put up or premiere each other's things. And it was Divas that was harassing him and harassing him off the channel and making it look like it was maybe some LDS kid or something like that. And totally nuts and sociopathic. And then when all these other channels started talking about it, he struck them or just didn't talk about it, disappeared, and never apologized about it. That was all off the back of him being really, really weird to Steve Pinecker when Steve Pinecker was in a hurricane and he came out. But Divas just blew up. That's why forever here, like when we do a power thing, I have a thing in it that the screen wipe is Divas blowing himself up, and I still do it. Mm-hmm. But it's down there somewhere. This is the Divas wipe. It was Divas blowing himself up because he made such like a fool of himself, and he got all these people pissed off and all these sorts of things all at once, because it wasn't just that one thing. If you go listen back to it, but Hambley did that too. He all these different channels of friends, like Nerdrotic, people who he had on for years, Dankula, who's huge, and Bearing, and they had done like live streams like this for like 7 years, right? Have you heard the story?
They did quite a.
It was called The Salt Mine, and they would do a live show like this, and people would, of course, make fun of him all the way through it. And after 7 years of that, after everybody was accusing him and taking down those channels, and he was refusing to admit to it or take credit for it, and a bunch of people caught screenshots of things that indicate that for sure it was definitely likely him, because he's bad at keeping track of what he's showing or not on the screen. And he would show some screens that there was definitely some things where he had made a request for things like that on YouTube, and then people caught him in that, and he just completely denied it. Anyway, so one day he goes and he takes down everything from that Salt Mine channel, which was those guys that show Bearing, Dankula, and him for 7 years. He takes the entire thing down and claims it's because somebody copyright struck him.
Yeah.
And he's so stupid that he doesn't know that it just shows. It just shows that it was taken down by the creator and it's not by. Yeah.
When you look for that channel now, it'll just say this channel doesn't exist or this channel no longer exists or something like that. Whereas if one guy, it'll just be like, this channel has been struck down.
Well, Starbase says the online Christians are having grift wars right now. That's 100% true. And part of all this is like, it's almost a theme for the day, because you want to know what there's the Fuentes world is having like a complete blow up between, if you haven't watched any of that, with Dan Bilzerian and all of them. And the most gay circle jerk of finger pointing of all the white nationalists who are half Mexicans pointing at each other and calling all of them each other feds and all that sorts of stuff is blowing up over there too. But I mean, it's a little bit happening too. I mean, I pulled from like Ward Radio did a whole thing watching and looking at the SEO and the performance of John DeLynne's channel for the past while, and they put up all these graphs that his channel's going down and their channel's on the rise and going up and all that sorts of stuff. It was all this week. I mean, it's happening here. And then of course the Daily Wire is tanking and everybody's tap dancing on that. And I mean, this stuff's just kind of happening.
Well, the Daily Wire, I cannot for the life of me understand, like, those guys are pretty smart guys, right? Like them or not, but that Pendragon cycle, no matter how good it is, even if it could be Game of Thrones level good, there's no fucking way it would be lucrative, right?
People say that one was 100% on Jeremy Boring.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, but like that is, you have to be retarded levels of obsessed in order to just tank your company for that. Like
that one, I believe he got out over his skis and believed that it really would be Lord of the Rings.
Well, I really think it was even if it was that level, who's gonna do a Daily Wire subscription just to watch that?
I really thought that it was their time to make the move with the way that everything was tanking in Hollywood so bad. Hollywood is going through a strike and all that sorts of stuff.
No, it's totally
all their movies sucked, and then there's all this outcry for all this stuff, and then I saw somebody estimating or looking over it, but like there was a concept that like, yeah, there was totally an option to start doing that. They just bit the whole thing off at once.
Well, you could do it. Do not launch it on Daily Wire Plus.
Yeah.
Sell it to someone else on a streaming service that's already established and stuff like that, because nobody subscribes to Daily Wire to watch a movie, except for me when I subscribe just to watch that dog shit Lady Ballers movie.
Yeah, and I use your log on to watch What Is the Woman, I think, but I didn't use it to watch Lady Ballers, and I didn't. There was something. There's Gina Carano one. I never saw that or any sort of thing like that. But they also made the Corolla's cartoon, Mr. Bertram.
That wasn't very good.
Yeah, and I didn't see any of it.
I was disappointed. I don't know. Maybe I'll give it another shot. But...
And they tried to make Bluey rip off kids cartooning all at the same time.
That's the thing. I mean, the problem is, that's things like with them trying to make comedy, where it's like they're complaining that like Hollywood is smuggling their politics into all their comedy. So we're going to smuggle our politics into our comedy. Like, no, that's why it's bad. It's bad because people know when they're being preached to and they don't like it.
That ended up being a huge fight with Ethan Van Sciver and a bunch of those different comic people. If you don't know, what's his name, the black dude who put out a comic too,
Eric July.
Yeah, Young Rip and all that stuff. But there was a big old fight between all that stuff because Ethan Van Sciver insisted when he started he made like Cyber Frogs, because Ethan Van Sciver was a longtime comic artist for DC. He did like a lot of the old Batmans and stuff like that. So he started making like his own new thing, and a bunch of people came into that and they wanted to make it like Daily Wire politics, and he insisted on no, it's no politics. Mm-hmm. And that fight became a huge online fight, big enough that they all blew up and started. Ethan Van Sciver's a Mormon too, or an ex-Mormon. But yeah, that blew up like they all fought about should it just be the other politics or no politics, and it became like a major war. Charles says Matt Walsh is going to be the last man standing at Daily Wire, and the numbers are going to swing back up.
The other day, I listened to a Matt Walsh, and he did say something that really, really bothered me. Where he was like, he was talking about left-wing media. He's like, and they are partisan media, unlike independent media, like me. And it's like, no, you are not independent. No, you are.
I would have thought he would have been honest about that.
Yeah, that's like I was surprised.
That's wild.
That's one of the things I always bring up because I've even come to call it the Fox News gambit. When people are like, but you watch Fox News, I'm like, okay, first off, no, I don't. But and it's funny because as soon as I start this, people know the trap they've walked into, and I can never get them to finish it with me. But I always do this thing where I'm like, would you agree with me that Fox News has a clear bias? you know, and they immediately know the trap they're walking into because like the next question is, does your news have a bias?
But,
You know,
but
like they don't want to deal with that.
Here's the other thing about that too is like I mean because I was going to do this whole thing on Lindsay Ellis and her. I mean I guess I could go into it because that's a whole different subject that I was going to come up to later. But I still watch all the bread tubers. They're just so uninteresting. I almost never bring them up. And every once in a while, like I could go get into talking about this thing, but it would just be this big long bullshit talk on postmodernism again. And we've gone over it, you know.
To wrap up my thought on Fox, like the thing I always say is that like Fox News, for all of its obvious flaws, they at least cop to being conservative.
Yeah.
Like there are two things that they do that NPR doesn't do. One, they cop to being conservative. They don't pretend to be perfectly neutral, and they're willing to talk to their opponents.
Yeah, it's the Dylan thing that drives us nuts too. It's that feigning neutrality when it absolutely is not neutrality. That's the thing that drives us the craziest, and that's a ton of our backlog is losing our minds at people who claim or really are oblivious, because sometimes that they really are oblivious that they're not just at the end of history neutral. And that's really kind of what they think. Like this is just how history is now. We're just going upwards and upwards in this trajectory of neoliberal progressive Star Trekism or whatever.
We've always known that science has proven that some people are trans.
But what I was getting at here is that almost all the people that I get my news online from, just like Flip said, I caught Matt Walsh saying something that was kind of garbage. There's very, very few of them that at one point or another, I did not think, shut up, you idiot. You know, you're a dipshit. Like, oh my gosh. Or learn something about them that's shady, or that they're all their own kind of like sociopathic dickbags who are just out there for clout in weird different little ways. And a bunch of that's been shown out in this. And something that kind of went along with this. And there's some people who still, I mean, Actual Justice Warrior is one of the ones that seems almost impenetrably decent as a person, you know, type. It seems you never know what people are like behind the scenes of what you're watching, but he for sure does. But and then of course, like sometimes you just like disagree with takes, but then other times you just find out that they're kind of ghoulish. So one of the weird things about like Worski, one of the guys who came out to this, Worski has his own backstory of becoming a lol cow.
Yeah.
And he definitely around like all the blood sport stuff, and it's not even that interesting to get into, because I don't think Worski was ever that interesting. I still don't think Worski adds that much. I mean, the PPP dude's way, way, way funnier than Worski, and but I mean, I guess he's there, you know. But he seems better though. He seems nicer. He seems like he's gotten over stuff. They say he quit drinking and all that sort of stuff. But that's a whole other aspect of this, is everybody ends up getting their shit caught up, and that's when they really become Christian in this stuff. Like every time somebody sticks their dick in it, now they're really Christian, and their channel becomes about being Christian, and they've been whatever. But so Chrissy Mayer, who we've featured on here a bunch of times in her Frosk impersonation. In fact, she's live right now. I wonder if there are more shit shows going on. But
it's only going to be a shit show for her from now on for quite a while. If she might not even, I wouldn't be super surprised if they just didn't let her come back to Friday Night Tights, at least for quite a bit.
Yeah, so Melanie Mack, so Melanie Mack, who's been on all the channels, like I said, she's kind of been a ring rat. It's a bunch of these, and some of this is like the sickness of the online right girls, because they're all just e-girls too in the end of stuff. Like Brittany Vainty and Lauren Southern now made an op-ed about it. I don't know if you guys read that or heard that.
Yeah, I heard it.
And these are chicks who've been in and around and shown up on every podcast or have become a part of every single podcast. Now Lauren Southern has like a backlog of history of supposedly sleeping with like everybody, including Destiny. but it was rape with Andrew Tate. She's just been everywhere and everything. But Melanie Mack is kind of the same thing. She's been on every channel at one point or another, and then left each channel when she got offered more money to go to another channel. She was on Side Scrollers for a while. They're having like all this drama with it too. But Chrissy Meyer is a little bit like that. She was on with Anthony Cumia for years, from Opie and Anthony, and she was kind of just there she's a comic, and I think she never really pretended to be more than a comic. She never pretended to be smarter than in any sort of politics or stuff. She was just there to kind of be funny and and get along. And she'd pop up on Friday Night Sites to do impersonations of Frosk, the person who destroyed that G4 channel. If you remember
Oh yeah.
Women aren't here to be easy on the eyes for you.
Olivia Munn wasn't here to be easy on the eyes for you. I was like, well, she exactly was.
That was entirely her job.
She would not have had the job if it wasn't.
That was her job. She made a lot of money at it. She clearly enjoyed doing it.
She wore a bikini in an oil kiddie pool and then tried to eat a hot dog without her hands. What the fuck do you think she was there?
She wasn't hired because she was Asperger's about games and could tell you the in and outs of I don't know what, Grand Theft Auto or Skyrim or something like that. She was just there to be easy on the eyes. I'm sorry
to memorize the Contra code.
Yeah. And so Chrissy Meyer was kind of brought on as a comedian, and the Friday Night guys would have her always there as a comedian. She didn't really know that much about culture, kind of like a normie on the movies she watched. She was just kind of there to toss in dirty jokes here and there, say that's what she said is what she can. For years she's been on there for that, and I've kind of liked that. And she was kind of the same thing with Opie and Anthony. She was almost like Howard Stern's Robin, you know. So she's there, and she has Melanie Mack on, and Melanie Mack, the ring rat, she's the one who became the Quarterings. When Quartering offered her a bunch of money, she became Quartering's Robin to Howard Stern. And she's been there for years. And so Chrissy Meyer had Melanie Mack on last week. And Quartering's been, after he banned all those channels, if people went and tried to confront him anywhere about it, they would just ban and block everybody and not talk to them. And when Chrissy Meyer had Melanie Mack on, people took it as an opportunity to bombard her and say, hey, ask Melanie Mack about the Quartering banning people, ask him about being a cook, ask him about all this sorts of stuff. And Chrissy Meyer played it off as if she didn't know what was happening, and just kind of, some people say, let super chats come in. So it would like, just, she knew what was going on, and she just let the super chats come in and play dumb and wouldn't read them and wouldn't put her friend on the spot. So it became this big drama thing. And then they didn't let her on Friday Night Tights last Friday. They wouldn't put her on because they said, we're not going to be able to have all this drama derail this show the same way it derailed your show. And now you've stepped in it, and everybody's got to stand up and say something, because Jeremy's been on this show, he's been on all the shows, but people have to stand up and say, you don't ban channels. I said, I don't think we're all against channel banning. So then Melanie Mack and Quartering said that the Friday Night Tight guys were cancel mob SJWs for doing that to Chrissy Meyer, not having her on to have all that sorts of stuff. So then Chrissy Meyer has a stream on Sunday night to try to rectify it all, and brings on Brittany Venti. You guys know all about the Brittany Venti?
I hate Brittany Venti so much.
I don't have any frame of reference. I feel like it's something I knew it one time and left my brain.
Okay, well, I don't. It's not that I hate her so much. Okay, I explained it like this in our chat. Brittany Venti. So if you could take the word nag and distill it down to one sound, one voice, it would be the voice of Pam Bondi. But if Pam Bondi weren't around, it'd probably be Brittany Venti. I just cannot imagine coming home. So that's all I hear when I listen to her. Her voice is very shrill and annoying, and I don't know. She's got some stuff. She's got some decent points in this whole thing, but she just irritates me.
I mean, I was so much more interested to learn, because all I knew about Chrissy Meyer was the Frost impersonation, which I was phenomenal. Like, it's legendary.
Oh, it was great, yeah.
And that's literally everything I knew about her. And in this whole thing, I found out that her dad got murdered. She converted to Catholicism last month, and she's a never vaxxer. She won't vaccinate her kid for anything. I'm like, hey, that's all way more interesting.
This stuff's, oh man, we are going deep with all this, aren't we? Do you remember the "He Will Not Divide Us" camera here?
Oh my god.
Yes.
Brittany Venti popped on the scene, like her first wave of being known is she showed up to this "He Will Not Divide Us" thing. And as Shia LaBeouf, I was trying to find the video, but it's scrubbed or somewhere. I'm sure it's somewhere. But as Shia LaBeouf was standing there with a bunch of people out in the cold, repeating, "He will not divide us. He will not divide us. Brittany Venti went and stood in the middle of it and just went, and just like did that for a while, and it made her very, very popular. Like that was her kickoff point. Yeah.
Has Shia LaBeouf ever copped? Like, has he just conceded? Like, I guess he divided us.
Do you remember the whole story about this?
I remember the way that was it 4chan.
Yeah,
like that was brilliant. Like,
so he got tired of people like Brittany coming and trolling the camera because it was just the camera going 24/7. So he tried to move the camera, and every time he'd move the camera, 4chan would find out where it was.
And they did like really remarkable, amazing stuff. Because like at one point, he put it in a field in the middle of nowhere with the camera pointing up at the sky.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
And 4chan, like they were able to like use the position of the sun and contrails from commercial airplanes, and they were able to like triangulate its latitude, you know, and they got it down to like, and then they saw like some random lady, a waitress, like posted on to her 4 friends on Instagram, oh my God, I just waited on Shia LaBeouf. And so like they got it down to like the city, and then they and the camera had a microphone on it. So they just had somebody in the area drive around and honk their horn and tell 4chan, like, we heard the horn, we heard the horn. And then they fucking found it. And then like he put it in an apartment building in London with the camera facing a wall. And they were able to trace the angle of the shadows to figure out exactly what latitude it was at. Or no, what longitude it was at. Like, it's just incredible.
It was all such an amazing feat. And there was a very detailed, well-done review of the amazing detective work done by NPR's Radiolab. And NPR's Radiolab made that thing, which I would tell you to go listen to it because it would go into extreme detail about the amazing thing those 4chaners did to troll Shia LaBeouf and drive him crazy. NPR got raided by all these people saying like, you're talking about all right people and all sorts of stuff, and they took down the maybe somebody's like reposted it on YouTube somewhere, but NPR took down the detailed history of what happened with the He Will Not Divide Us thing. Anyway, Brittany Venti popped on the scene with that. Like people didn't know who she was until that, but she's part of this, and she's been part of, there's Chrissy Mayer, and that's Melanie Mack, and they've been part of a Sunday night stream for years, like 10 years, called Simpcast. I think it's ripping on Timcast. And so they're just like a bunch of e-girls who get together and just cast just like we're casting every Sunday night. And they were all just kind of part of the same group of girls who would get together and do it. And Chrissy brought Brittany on to go over how she fumbled the ball on not confronting Melanie on the bannings and all that sorts of stuff. And Brittany's right, but she's such a mean girl like about it, but that's who she is. Like if you go back and watch her stuff, I mean, she's got a long history of trolling Andrew Wilson and his wife, calling his wife Dumpy and like looking at like what they look like and getting all upset about Andrew Wilson talking about the trad life when his wife's had other baby mamas and all sorts of stuff. They have her and Lauren Southern tried to catfish Rollo Tomasi. There's like a whole backstory about that her and Lauren Southern got together with Destiny to try to Rollo Tomasi was the main one of those main red pill dudes.
I remember he talked about it on the stream.
They tried to catfish him because Rollo Tomasi knew all about Lauren Southern's divorce and all the sorts of weird stuff. Anyway, they've done a bunch of like weird mean girl things, and they've actually kind of become like a right-wing Me Too movement because they've gone around and kind of called out every single person on the right wing, which I'm sure a bunch of it is true, of saying that they're all kind of scuzzy, gross sorts of people, but these guys are making killings off of being the damsels in distress about all of it. You know, like, you gave me, how do you do this? Oh, I can't do this. And they totally just mean girl stuff. But she's not wrong in this situation, but she also was just annoying as shit, I would say, in the thing about it. But anyway, that whole thing like blew up and went off, and now Chrissy was kind of caught lying about what she knew about or didn't know about. and all that sort of stuff. And now Chrissy's probably not going to be prioritized. Anyway, the whole thing just goes to show that Jeremy Hamley, being a Divas type character, just caused a ripple of infighting across this whole entire scene that is just so universal and ubiquitous that like every single channel is at each other's throats in some sort of way, shape, or form. And Jeremy Hamley won't just apologize for the thing and move on. It was all he didn't have to do it in the start, but once he did do it, he could have just fessed up to it. Chrissy could have just fessed up that she knew that she was hiding and what they call sweeping for them, like trying to clean them up. People thought that he was probably offering Chrissy the next job to move up to be the next Robin. All these different girls want to be Robin of the big channels. They want to be Howard Stern's Robin. That's all what it is.
This is something I've always been, because I never followed Stern closely at all. And I remember when his show was on late night TV, and I'd watch it sometimes, and I was utterly baffled as to what Robin's talent is, because I can't tell what it is. She seems so flat.
That's all these other channels. That's what these people are. They're kind of there to be the laugh track, as they say.
Jacob wants to know if we're going to go on the Exmo cruise.
There it is. The Exmo. I've got some. I've got the highlight of the Exmo cruise on here somewhere. Hold on.
We're going to learn.
I'd rather go on the Mormon cruise, but I don't want to go on that cruise.
Yeah, I don't want to do either one of them, but
I don't want to do any cruise. I'll get the hantavirus, man. The hantavirus.
I find all podcast cruising to be cringy as fuck.
Well, what we're kind of getting into is like all the podcasty drama and the interaction of people here, that it's all becomes a little bit maybe too close for comfort.
Did you see Jacob's joke that he's talking about?
I did, but I can't remember it now.
I think I have it.
Yeah.
But go ahead and say what it is, because it might.
Well, it was Rebecca Biblioteca got mad at. She's like, he's perpetuating the stereotype that ex-Mormons just leave the church in order to sin or something like that, and it was something along the lines of they come to ours for enlightenment or something like that, but they will come to yours with I don't know, like an STI and there it is.
This is Jacob talking about it. Is that what?
No, that was.
I don't have whatever Biblioteca said. What did
Biblioteca? I saw it. I don't remember it. It was something. Tell us, Jacob.
Is it this one?
Well, that's not a joke.
Jacob, one of the things we were talking about.
That's kind of a joke.
It looks like, because we were just talking about Brittany Venti. I don't think I have the joke or what the theme.
My joke didn't make them mad, and it's not even that funny. But my joke was, it's like church except for 8 days in a row.
It's on Mormonish.
Yeah.
Jacob, you're going after. So we were just talking about how Brittany Venti's been a mean girl to Andrew Wilson and his wife, but I saw you being a mean boy to Andrew Wilson. Not a mean boy, just coming after him for his philosophy on there. I was going to talk about some of that stuff. Are you going to start taking on the Ortho Bro debaters, the Jimbobs and the Andrew Wilsons and the Jay Dyers of the world? Something we've been wondering if that's ever going to happen. Actually, I think I'll have it in the show notes here that we were going to talk about. Is that going to happen? And did you see Shadiversity's debate with Jimbob?
JGA wants
to come on the show.
He said on our cruise you get spiritually fed. On theirs you get a hangover and an STD or something. I can't see.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Is there anything you guys wanted to add on the Jeremy Hamley thing? That's just the whole drama. But I think it's just kind of
the moral of the story of all of this is don't have sex with any woman ever.
Yes.
Like if you're on the
if
internet,
you're a BYU football player, get married first. Yeah. If you are, if
you're vice president, if you're a Republican vice president, don't ever be alone with a woman at any time. If you are a YouTuber, don't ever have sex with any woman ever. That's the moral.
Well, it's worse than that, because Hamley didn't even get to have sex with anyone.
No, I don't think
he didn't get it.
He was doing it.
That was his kink. So it worked out for him.
I know, he was just a creeper to him. Like, he just sexually harassed us.
There, I sent it, Jacob.
He would just get on there and be like, "Oh, my next guest, she says if we get 10 more subscribers, she'll come on with no shirt." He just always made him feel so uncomfortable.
But like every one of these channels, man, every one of these channels like have these, I don't know, weird blow-ups, man. I mean, they all get too big for their britches, I guess, or get too close for comfort with each other or something. And it turns out, I mean, the entirety, just like it's happening with like the Nick Fuentes thing and the Dan Bilzerian. I mean, that stuff's so ridiculous. But I mean,
I sent you the link to Rebecca's short in the
Facebook
chat.
Hold up, or we'll
Has
watch
Dan Bilzerian been Me Too'd yet? Is he kind of just Me Too proof because he just brands himself as a whore?
I mean, all those chicks that are hanging around with him. I mean, I'm sure he was just paying them and all that sorts of stuff. So maybe you don't get Me Too'd. I mean, the old Charlie Sheen thing is he doesn't have to pay prostitutes so that they'll come with him. He has to pay prostitutes so they'll go away. I'm sure that's probably what Dan Bilzerian's been doing the whole time. But have you ever heard Dan Bilzerian's entire story of he supposedly made his millions off of playing poker?
I've heard him talk about that, but yeah, wasn't his dad like a...
Oh, I sent it on Facebook. Sorry. I don't. Do I even have your email?
We don't do emails. We're not nerds. Your camera keeps freezing there, Chris. I don't know why.
Yeah, I probably just got to reboot my internet. It's just been sitting on for too long, and I hardly use the computer during the week at all. But it's not a good time to do it now. But
is Jacob jumping on? Because I got to.
Yeah. You don't have to hang out if you don't want.
Well, I just got a call. I got to be at work at 5:30 tomorrow morning now.
Oh, you can bail if you want to bail.
Well, I want to see some Jacob stuff. And I wondered. I never saw the follow up to his Catholic apologetics fumble.
Oh, the Thomas Aquinas.
Yeah, that's the one. That whoopsie.
Whoopsie.
Man, I've got too many screens at once. I'm sorry. I heard him.
I do not keep up with the apologetics like you guys do.
I don't know why.
There's Jacob. Hold on, let me take the other thing off the screen. Ooh.
Yeah, we have to put up Jacob's cruise ad if we're gonna have him on.
How'd that go? How to get all four up?
We are podcasters. It looks like you're advertising Diet Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Now we're advertising Bill Reels.
I think Jacob's frozen there. Hold on.
He's got that Reno internet.
Post-Mormon celebration cruise. Hell yeah. We're going to be doing shrooms. We're going to be maybe talking about orgies, maybe open our marriages.
So there he is, but let me see if I can get this on. Well, how come there's like no option of 4 people?
We got double Jacob right now.
We do?
The bottom one's frozen and muted.
Are they both?
No, now
no,
zero.
Jacob. We lost him.
Now there's one Jacob.
I'm in now.
This is moving.
Now there's 2 Jacobs.
Okay,
all right,
I should be
see.
here now. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get this screens. Oh, go ahead and talk.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
Hello?
Yeah.
Can you not
You
hear
can't hear us.
We hear you.
I can't hear you guys.
Oh, well.
Can you hear me? You can hear me.
Yep.
What the heck? Why can't I hear you guys?
If we can hear Jacob,
Hold on, let me check my settings. What the heck?
Maybe it's because the other one is going. Do you hear us
Man,
now?
I thought we were bad podcasters.
Do you hear us?
I think you can hear us.
How do I get this? So like, I don't
know what's going on, guys. I'm sorry.
It's got to
I
be.
don't know why my thing is being like this. Let me go to my settings.
I bet
Audio.
he's on Bluetooth, isn't he?
Bluetooth connected to the car.
Yeah. Turn your car up there, Jacob.
How come there's? Oh, there it is. Got it.
Wow, you chose to freeze on an unflattering image there, Jacob. You look stoned.
I want to ask if he's going to start debating the Ortho bros and that stuff.
Yeah, I want to hear that stuff.
Well, Jacob, if you're here's what I want to happen. If you're getting the attention of Andrew Wilson, what I really, really want to happen is for you to debate Andrew Wilson. I really don't care about the outcome of that debate or anything like that. What I really care about is the ex-Mormons they hate you so autistically that I would just love to watch ex-Mormons try to defend Andrew Wilson. That'd be the funniest thing in the whole world.
That would be funny. You hear us?
Okay, I can hear you now. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I totally crashed your stream like a
Oh,
total doofus.
Man, you're stealing all the views away. There.
Yeah. We lost so much traffic.
Hey, first of all, good to see you guys. I
Nice
saw
to
you
see
guys
you
were
too.
on. Every time you're on, I'm like stoked
Well, that's every
because I know you're going
Thursday.
to talk about funny stuff.
Sometimes.
Sometimes
Today
we talk
we're
about
just talking about
Sometimes.
the quartering. Do you know anything about that? You followed any of that? We're done with it now.
The what thing?
The quartering.
Quartering.
He's just a lame. He's a lame YouTuber.
I think that's our answer. He doesn't.
Yeah, that's probably good. I don't want to.
We were just talking about somebody.
I do know that Rebecca crashed out today. On my
So
show.
what was?
That was just like a Facebook. The joke was just
Jared linked it.
on our
Yeah,
on our cruise you get spiritually fed. On their cruise, you get a hangover and maybe an STD.
An
STD.
We left because we're
Yeah.
sinners. It's like I was like, lady, chill. Like I was just making a joke. Second of all, I literally talked to Bill Reel, who talks about barfing in ayahuasca circles and like sexually experimenting. So like, come on. And also, here's my joke, or not my joke, more my serious comment. People, I actually do not believe the majority of people who leave the church leave to sin. Okay? I don't believe that. However, I do believe the vast majority of the people who leave the church then proceed to engage in sins that they never engaged in previously. Now, people can say, well, it's not a sin. It's like, okay, that's fine. Like, congratulations. Like, I know that's kind of the point. But from our perspective, you have. And when you leave, I don't think people leave for the reason to sin. But I'm also going to say that everyone who leaves, let's not pretend that isn't a factor. If I were to leave the church, I probably would engage in behaviors that would I'd probably be more likely to engage in behaviors that I currently believe are sinful. So
I wouldn't have drank alcohol if I never left the church. It was never really like a temptation to me. So
You
yeah,
know what the sin is, though? The biggest sin that they all share? They start a YouTube channel.
that is definitely
they start a
largely
YouTube channel, and they all have a video called "Why I Left the Mormon Church."
They all have such
have
a
a-
lack of humility that they think that people should give them money for their opinions.
We've been long saying before it became kind of a popular meme and joke that tons of people we knew decided to open up their marriages, and because I mean Flip and I have been around this so long, we've got the numbers.
21 months.
Yeah,
You know what
Yeah.
that is?
By
21 months?
right around the 2-year mark, you start
21
hearing
months is the over-under between the announcement of polyamory and the announcement of the divorce.
Yeah.
That's
That's what I tell
kind
everybody.
of-
I've had a lot of friends that'll come to me and they'll be like, "Well, yeah, we decided to leave the church like you." I'm like, "Okay, just don't open your marriage." And they'll be like, "What? Why are you even saying that?" Because someone's gonna tell you to open your marriage. You're gonna
I
want to go on
literally-
the slut phase that you missed out on because you were a prudish Mormon.
I literally said that to the last guy who opened up to me that he was leaving, and
It's
Somebody
the first
told
he
me
looked
that-
at me the same way. What are you talking about? I'm like, just hear me out.
You'll get it. Give it a
I had-
week. You'll understand.
I had friends that left the church, and they told me like they left the church because of me. Like, not that I was trying to lead them out of the church, but we would just talk about church, and I would tell them my thoughts on stuff. And when they told me that they left the church, my first words were, "I'm sorry." And 3 years later, after the polyamory and the divorce, that's why I was sorry.
Somebody, I mean, it's not. Flip and I aren't even joking. We've been around this like so long. Jared's maybe starting to see it now too, and
It's
that
been
sort of stuff. But
23 years. No,
we've
20,
been
20
and we've been around
almost 24
Salt Lake
years.
through like the thick of it, and it was crazy the percentages that went down that route.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
it's good. Like
But-
early on, I was constantly annoyed.
Actually, I'm going to give you guys a little inside track to a video I have coming up. It's kind of controversial. I'm going to talk. Have you guys heard of the new book that came out, Torn, by Jeff Strong, I think is his name? He's been making his way around. It's all about like why people leave the church. And
I saw something.
anyway, I have.
Oh, that's the Johnson and Johnson CEO.
We're just gonna have a conversation because I'm gonna make a video. End up taking a very different route than taking. Here's a really crazy take, guys. You guys, see if I'm way off. Here's the big secret. Here's why essentially everyone leaves the church. Because they don't believe in it anymore. Like, you guys, like that's the answer. Like, I don't know why we're all like, well, it's actually this or that. And it's like, my thing is this, and this is my theory. And for better or worse, this is what I think happens. People in the West are secularizing. Okay? What kind of a stupid Mormon bubble do we all live in where we act like that doesn't affect us? That is the driving force in all of Western religion and sociological sort of culture, is the change from being essentially a religious people to being a non-religious people. And even the people who call themselves Christian, like many people I know, dude, their Christianity has nothing. It's just vague spiritualism with a Jesus label. Like, they don't have any connection to actual Christianity.
Have you? I brought this up with you when I was on your channel. Have you looked into any of the general ideas of Arnold Toynbee or Oswald Spengler? Like, there's people who studied this across civilizations. It's the old joke that I say that Fowler stages of faith cuts off the next stage, which is the cycle of faith. Fowler stages of faith acts like it's just up towards Star Trek. You know what I mean? I mean, it forgets that then there's the crash. And Toynbee and Spengler were two different guys who studied that throughout history, multiple different times. Faith-driven places that grew and grew and grew because they had the fire of faith, fell apart and went the total other direction and that sort of stuff, because you kind of have to have the fire in the belly to grow. And the thing that always becomes philosophical, it's almost kind of like the death of the thing. One of the things Spengler is famous for saying is, like, as soon as people start planning for children, that's the end of the civilization type stuff. You know what I mean? It's the civilization that just does it.
I haven't looked into that. I haven't looked into that specifically, but I think that's a brilliant theory, and I've heard similar things. Now, real quick, because I'm almost to my destination and I got to go. So here's my thing. I think that people secularize in two ways. Okay, one is that they secularize epistemologically. That'd be like you guys. Okay, it's where you don't have a problem with the church per se. You're not like, you don't have an ethical thing where you like hate the church and think that it's evil, but you just don't believe anymore, right? And then you have the types like John Dehlin. John Dehlin is not an atheist, and his main problems with the church are ethical in nature. What has happened to John primarily is that John has secularized in his ethics, where his ethics now are essentially aren't driven by like Jesus Christ, but are driven by sort of self-actualization and sort of an expressive individualism. Now, then you have the people that are both. Now that's like people like Bill Reel. See, Bill Reel is both an atheist and he hates the church because he has both. Like, he doesn't have he doesn't believe in like a spirituality of any meaningful kind, and so his worldview is. Alyssa Grenfell would be like that too. Like, she's secularized both in her ethics and in her epistemology, which means she is not spiritual, and she thinks the church is evil, right? And here's the other thing: Faith Matters people, the kind of progressive Mormons, those are people who have secularized in their ethics, but they're still trying to so they're still spiritual people because they haven't secularized in their epistemology.
Well, they they just lie about it.
A lot of them have, but the thing is that it's really they still consider themselves spiritual people, and that's because they haven't fully secularized epistemologically. So what happens is those people exist in this world where they're like, well, I'm still spiritual and I still feel a connection to the church. And so they're like, they're trying to reconcile their new humanistic philosophy and ethic with kind of the church. And then and that's why they're all like activists. So my theory, very simply, is that the thing that is driving the church's problems is what's driving the problems in every religion all across the Western world. And it's secularism. And these naive Mormons, especially on the progressive side, they think, oh, no, you guys, look, people are so spiritual, like me. We just got to be really nice and be really progressive, and then we'll be good. Because that's all we need to get back, the John DeLynns, just, gay marriage and trannies in the bathrooms, and like, it's all good.
Maybe
You know what I mean?
Here, buddy.
No, I mean that's absolutely been the generalized things that we've always kind of criticized or said that's not how that works or how that happens.
Well, there's a I don't know. I've been thinking about this lately. Well, I've been thinking about this for years. I want to do a deep dive at some point into the changing reasons why people leave the church, and I'm not talking about like change in different people over time. I'm talking about change in certain individuals in their story of having left the church over time. Because I swear to God, there's so many people I've talked to. It does seem like I get what you're saying with the difference between the epistemic and the ethics, but I would also say that I think a lot of people leave it, and then they say that they leave it for whatever, like for lack of a better term, for whatever reason is in vogue at the current time. Because like when I would say, like when I left it was probably like 2014, I think. And that was from then. Before, the popular reason to leave the church was more like an intellectual, like
epistemological.
It's epistemological.
It started with the woke wave that it turned to activism.
Yeah, well then it turns to activism. But I see people now who I'm like, wait a minute, I swear I remember you talking about the reason you left the church was the Book of Abraham. You don't think that the geography of the Book of Mormon makes sense, the Nephites didn't exist, all that stuff, the material stuff. And now when I hear them retell their stories now, that's because they were just bigots. I couldn't deal with what they did with women and stuff. The story changes per individual.
That's true. And what I'll say is this. So here's Jeff's issue. The guy who wrote that book. He asked all the Exmos on like Exmo subreddit why they left. Now here's what's funny. I actually don't think he's totally wrong in the way they answered. They said basically 80% are either historical issues or social issues. Like kind of split it between those two things.
But he basically said like you need to make a safe space for it. Like make a space like
exactly.
They just
here's my quick point before I gotta go. So the people who said they left for historical reasons, that's the epistemology, and the people who left for the social stuff, those are the ones who still remain spiritual, but not religious. So remember, here's my thing. I don't care what I ask them. I ask, where did they go? What did they become? Because people are like, oh, well, the church is the issue. I'm like, you guys, they're not leaving the church. They're leaving Jesus. Like if the church was the problem, they'd go and like become a Baptist or something, or a Catholic. But that's not what they're doing. That's because they're not abandoning the church. They're abandoning religion. They're secularizing.
I think that they can point at the Catholic Church and do exactly what you do and notice that it's full of hypocrisy and unethical behavior.
Correct. But you could join a non-denominational Christian church that fits your sort of woke preferences. Like those exist, but they don't go there. They don't go to religion. What they do is they go to, I'm spiritual but not religious. Those are the people who epistemologically they still have to believe in God because they epistemologically can't shake that. But they ethically can't embrace Christianity.
The Brittany Hartley no nonsense spirituality. Did you see she got attacked by Matt Dillahunty for being a swindler on spirituality?
Oh, really? She is. By the way, she's on my target list of people I really want to go after hard because one of my new passions. I really want to start to pivot right now and start focusing on secularism and specifically on sort of the secular but not religious.
We'll send you links.
We've talked about this, but if you looked at Jim Bennett's like little documentary, The Inconvenient Faith, it wasn't just him, it was a bunch of other people.
Yeah, I saw it.
If you look at each different episode, I was saying like this is like an EEOC audit of the church. That's like all it is. It's like a human resources audit of the church. That's all it is. Yep. It's complete secularizing of and then it will be better.
And the whole thing
as soon as we get human resources here.
here's the thing, okay? Here's how stupid these people are. They think, this is what they think. Hey guys, these people don't believe anymore. You know how we can get them to believe again? Let's just be really, really nice to them. It's like, wait a minute, do you guys realize we're like the nicest people? We're famous for how nice we are. And it's just like, let's just double down. Let's just be really nice. If I'm just really nice, then you three are going to come back and be Latter-day Saints again. It's like, no. If you want to know how to combat secularism, you know who you listen to? You watch who actually has been successful and who's been the most successful person in battling secularism in the past 10 years.
Peterson. You're absolutely right. That's how you battle secularism. And there's been an incredible resurgence in young men being interested in religion because of it. So why don't we stop being retards and thinking that not being nice enough is the problem in the church, with people like Patrick Mason telling us to, trans the kids and let dudes wearing dresses in with our girls in the bathroom, and actually start fighting secularism and inspire people to a vision of life.
Notice that Peterson won't say he believes in God.
I agree, and I think he does it largely to keep himself from being pigeonholed.
I don't know. I think
he avoids the boxes. Yeah, but one of our longtime sayings here is that corporate risk aversion and wokeness do the same things to institutions. And
Agreed.
When I see that strong guy going and talk, he's like talking about doing the EEOC audit, type stuff of the.
Oh my gosh, the guy's corporate up and down, left and right. And the longer we're a corporate church, and we the reason this online movement has grown and is like doing stuff is because we have kind of a saying amongst us: we want to subversively build the kingdom. We're kind of like, screw the institution. Let's just go and build the kingdom. Not like going against the brethren and stuff, but kind of getting outside of the institutional stuffiness and being real again. And people have found that super attractive.
But to tag your point of probably one of the main things that Peterson pulled out is the thing his main catch line, clean your room, which is the demand of somebody to call to come up to a higher calling is what calls to people, not nicey risk aversion.
Oh, 100%. I tell people this. Well, this question, is the church working for them? Could you guys effing imagine Brigham Young going up to the Pioneers Cross? But is this working for you guys? Is this fitting well into your life? It's like, you guys, the reason our ancestors built what they did was exactly for what you said, because they had a fire in the belly, because they believed in something. Now, people may think that isn't legitimate. That's fine. But I'll tell you what, you know how to beat unbelief? Get people to actually believe in something again.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I gotta roll, guys.
Okay, but why did you have to jump on and shit on Bill Reel on the one stream that RFM is watching?
Yeah, well, I know. Yeah, RFM's been watching it lately, but I know you got to run. But what's going on with Andrew Wilson and Jimbob and those guys? Are you gonna take them on? Because I remember a long time ago.
I might. Here's the thing: those guys. The thing is with those guys, they're such douchebags that the thing is no. The thing is I actually like to engage in discussions that are somewhat meaningful without them Andrew Wilson's out there calling people's wife's names and talking about sodomizing little girls up the butt with David Wood the other day. Jimbob's just a total doofus. These guys aren't a threat. I want to deal with people that actually have something meaningful to say, and these guys are just honestly
I think they're capable of it. They just do choose to go low a lot. I'm not impressed by them. I'm overall, the thing I've learned this about these debates. You don't debate anyone. You have the right topic with the right person. Because if you get someone who's just there to sling mud and a bad topic and you don't have a good format and they're able to talk over you the whole time, and then they're just going to clip everything like crazy, even though you won the debate. They'll just get that one line where you stumbled, and then them and their sycophantic weirdos on Twitter will blow it up to no end. I want to engage with people that actually have a reputation for being thoughtful. But I don't know. I'm open to it. I would actually like to talk with Andrew Wilson about his ethics. I actually offered him that discussion to talk about his moral philosophy and his insane Christian nationalist fascist psychopathy. I do want to push back hard on the Christian right movement because
most of that is dangerous. Like, hey, let's go back to the way it was in the medieval ages where we burned people who didn't believe what we believed. Psychopaths. Anyway,
Something Andrew says.
Andrew's
go watch
not-
him. Go watch
yeah,
him on trigonometry. He's basically just like, yeah, Christians should run everything, and like, I don't like that people are gay, so we should just outlaw that.
Yeah, he does want to be a Christian nationalist, but he's probably like a degree down from the Fuentes and those types. He doesn't like make it race.
Yeah,
based or that sort
his problem. Here's the problem with Andrew Wilson. Okay, Andrew Wilson doesn't, and the Eastern Orthodox guys, literally or generally, they don't believe in religious liberty. The Orthodox Church doesn't believe in that. They don't like. You guys have to remember, we're a Protestant nation. The Protestants are the ones that were like, F all these people marrying themselves to government. And the Eastern Orthodox types are like, yeah, let's have the church like run the government. It's
So
like one of the
you're-
tenets of their religion.
You're a Protestant nationalist?
Heck yeah, man. I believe in liberty, baby. The good old Protestants gave us John Locke gave us the freaking life, liberty, and property to the death. And I want you guys to have the right to be your crazy atheist selves.
But I mean,
It's a free country, dang it.
Hey,
You were
craziness and
pointed
atheism have no connection. Those are completely separate.
You were
markets.
pointing out, and it's true that he's just basically a deontologist for the Orthodox faith. And then if he's not right, and if he can't just like go to the presuppositionalism that that's just true, he can default to, well, then we'll play the postmodern game of power, and I just will to power this anyway.
You're exactly right. And I was just like, you're just will to powering it, you douchebag. And that's really what it boils down to for you guys. You don't have any principles. So anyway, hey, I got to run, guys. But it's been great hanging with you guys.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
He does bring something up that has always bothered me. Like whenever I hear somebody say, I'm spiritual but not religious, I have the exact same feeling when I hear somebody say, I don't eat food with chemicals in it.
Well, that's
I'm
what
like, you don't know what any of those words mean.
Did you listen to the Brittany Hartley Dillahunty fight? I sent you guys a link to it.
No,
It's got like whole 40 minutes, but Dillahunty went after her for her I'm spiritual but not religious stuff, and then she dropped a load of academia of why spirituality has a place in atheism.
Well, Dillahunty is spiritual and religious, so
Yeah, no, I the whole thing bugs me. Like, I mean, because Jacob, like, just now when he says, like, when he talks about real Christianity, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what real Christianity is. You know, like that's when I was, like one of the pet peeves I've always had with talking to Christians. Whenever I ask them, you know, like, oh, you're, you know, because they always bring it up, like, yeah, I love Jesus. I'm like, oh, what denomination are you? I go to a Bible believing church. I just want to fuck you. Fuck you for saying that. Like, how fucking dare you?
The thing is, though, is like Andrew Wilson and Jay Dyer and Jimbob, I have watched them single-handedly kind of pull away the rhetorically defective guys from Fuentes over to Ortho Bro stuff. And I think that's a step up a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like a step in the right direction, in my view. But which I thought those guys were like so hardcore about, oh boy, this Fuentes guys is just the bee's knees. I mean, there's been so much stuff going on with Fuentes this week because I mean, he came out as like everybody should vote Democrat, and everybody's like shocked about it. And it's like, but that's what he did every one of the most recent elections. But he and Crowder had like a whole debate about that, and Andrew Wilson's been debating people about, no, we're not doing this acceleration stuff of we're going to go vote Democrat now because Trump's screwing up the Iran war. And Andrew Wilson has single-handedly gotten a bunch of those hard Jewish question guys to chill a little bit. Not all of them, but some of them.
Hey, before I go, it's Mormon related tangentially, but I wanted to talk about something I learned recently that kind of relates to all this and ties a lot of these things together. I'm sharing the screen. If you...
Oh, it's in the thing?
I'm sharing it now.
Yeah, I got it. I'll get there.
But because of Mormonism and their crazy bug about genealogy, because I'm planning another trip to England, and so I was going through the Mormon genealogy page on my line, and I found out about this guy. My great grandpa was a Puritan who settled in the Massachusetts Bay Colony in 1830 or 1630. Like, so one of the earliest American settlers. He killed a bunch of Indians in a war that we beat the Indians, allied with Indians. and wrote the first history of New England. This book, and there's actually some University of Omaha has a digital copy of it, and I'm going to try to read it someday, even though it's in old-timey English. But like, this is shit I had never even realized. Like, I didn't know it was like my family had this coat of arms. That's my family coat of arms. Didn't know we had one.
Wow.
And like,
I have one too somewhere.
but like, this is one of those things where, like, I mean, I brought it up before, but in fact, the same people I referenced earlier that I said I'm sorry to when they left the church, you know, when they're like, "Oh, what does Mormonism do for anybody?" And I'm like, that genealogy thing. Like, the Mormons have that weird genealogy bug, and it's like, God knows where it comes from, but thank God for Mormons and their genealogy bug, because they do it for the world, they do it for free, you know, and like, just what they've contributed to that field is immeasurable, you know. Like I always bring up, like, it always bugs me that my mom would complain about money, and I'm like, you have skills, you could earn money, and she has for decades given away for free her labor of transcribing and digitizing medieval Portuguese and German documents for the church genealogical library program.
So my mom too. My mom did it for 30 years.
You know, like, but yeah, it's just like,
my mom wrote a ton of the Wikipedia pages on like Eastern European genealogy stuff.
Yeah, you know, but like, yeah, it's just like, what, like, that's one of those intangible things. Like, what the hell? But you know, what a wonderful thing. Like, thank God for Mormons that they got this bizarre genealogy bug. And because that's the thing I'm always telling, like, you know, when people visit Salt Lake, I'm like, you should go to the genealogical library. And like, and I always tell them, like, it's run by the church, but they do not proselytize. It's one of the only, it's like the only thing that's owned by the church in downtown Salt Lake City that if you walk in, they're not going to try to put a pamphlet or Book of Mormon in your hand. You can just go in there and say, I want to do genealogy. Can you help me? And they will help you. And it's phenomenal. It's a really cool thing they do. Family history is how you got into church history.
This is my family castle.
Whoa.
And that's the Hannah Castle.
You should move in. You should go bring a cot and a microwave.
And here's the Hannah coat of arms, which I guess got stripped from them at some point because some great grandpa killed some judge or something. And then they replaced all of the deer on it with rats.
Strange.
We should watch the Rebecca Biblioteca thing before Flip goes.
I got it.
And the family motto is "I will keep the faith." Isn't that ironic? It's
you
servo fidem. I will keep the faith. But they were Puritans, so nobody wants that faith.
That stuff I was saying about Spangler and Toynbee, I mean, Jacob probably doesn't like it, but it's just saying the exact same thing he's saying. Is when stuff gets all philosophical, it kind of starts falling apart, and it doesn't keep the masses.
Yeah. All right, let's watch this biblioteca, and then I have to wake up in 3 minutes.
In 3 minutes.
That's what it feels like. I don't know.
It's just so funny to me. As you know, we are sponsoring a big post-Mormon celebration cruise in September. Have 200 people plus that have signed up to go. And we've been posting about it, you know, to see if anybody else would like to accompany us on the post-Mormon celebration cruise. Somebody reposted one of our posts, and somebody on the faithful side commented, on our cruise, faithful cruise, a faithful influencer cruise, you get spiritually fed. On theirs, talking about our post-Mormon cruise, you get a hangover and maybe an STD. Oh,
she's going to accuse him of not being Christ-like.
It's actually funnier when she says it.
It's insulting.
That's fun. That's funny, man.
Wait. Is she going to accuse him of not being Christ-like?
Oh, God.
I mean, honestly, did the faithful not realize at this point the wrestle and just how hard it was to tear yourself away from a religion that you spent decades in? Integrity and truth claims, we had to do it. It's not because of sin. This is just so funny to me.
Flip's little dismissive is right there was worse than anything that any Mormon's ever said. If any of them that'll like kill like every ex-Mormon ever. Like what?
Like no, like It's not easy, but come on. Like being a Marine is harder than leaving the church.
It ain't that deep.
You know, like like come on. Learning to fly a commercial airplane harder than leaving the church. Getting a math degree, getting a bachelor's degree in math harder than leaving the church. There's like you should do the list of things that are harder than leaving.
Going on mission harder than leaving the church.
Oh fuck yeah! Are you kidding me?
Divorce. Getting divorced harder than leaving the church.
Trek. 3-day trek harder than leaving the church. Some sort of like relief society hour harder than leaving the church. I'm just kidding.
As you know, we are sponsoring a big post-Mormon celebration cruise in September. Have 200 people plus that have signed up to go, and we've been posting about it, to see if anybody else would like to accompany us on the post-Mormon celebration cruise. Somebody reposted one of our posts, and somebody on the faithful side commented on our cruise,
Rebecca,
faithful cruise, a
that's
faithful
not
influencer cruise.
Jacob's name?
Yeah, like that's not somebody, Rebecca. That's top Mormon apologist Jacob Hansen.
You get spiritually fed. On theirs, talking about our post-Mormon cruise, you get a hangover and maybe an STD. That stereotype we all left to sin.
Did you know that?
This is just so funny to me. As you know, we are sponsoring it's insulting. I mean, honestly, did the faithful not realize at this point the wrestle and just how hard it was to tear yourself away from a religion that you spent decades in? Integrity and truth claims, we had to do it. It's not because of sin.
Eagle Scout project harder than leaving the church.
I guess seriously, like
We should do it. We should do a video. I left the Mormon church, so you don't have to.
I just dead serious, like the things of like you didn't believe hard enough, or you left there, like you. It's almost kind of like that whole stuff going down right now that the black people give the N-word the power by chimping out about it, as the word is going out right now. Like you getting upset that they said that to you gives like all the power to it. I mean,
yeah, no, getting up for work in 6 hours is harder than leaving the church.
This is why you shouldn't go to the things. Get the hantavirus. Nurses practicing their TikTok hantavirus.
All righty, I'm gonna bail.
Later. Man, it might be worth just doing like a whole show of like going into the Dillahunty spirituality versus Brits, like Dillahunty dunking on the spirituality thing. Hold on a second, I got two different computers going up. I think it'd be interesting. I don't know. Maybe I'm just wanting content, but I think it'd be.
It's probably interesting in that out of all of the very, very valid criticisms of Brit's retarded bullshit, he probably has the worst.
Yeah, you can like kind of count on him to make it dumb. I mean, I think he's just kind of being typical old atheist guy here on this one. Maybe one of the things and he kind of calls her a grifter and stuff like that. And so she.
Hi everyone, Britt here with No Nonsense Spirituality. This is going to be a new kind of video for me because I have received what I think is friendly fire from Matt Dillahunty, who most of you may know, and he made a whole video referring to me and also to Palmer, who are the center of non-religious spirituality. He made a whole video called "Spirituality is Nonsense" and mentioned me in that video. So today I will be responding to some critiques. I'm curious to see what you guys think about this because many of you value Matt Dillahunty's work in the atheist space, specifically all the work that he has done debating theists of various religions. Now, some of his critiques I think are fair, some of it I think is semantics, some of it is going to be fundamental differences between him and I, and some of the critiques I think are unfair.
I mean, I could probably sum it all up that what she said is semantics. There, it is like a word thing again. There's things about awe in the world that words like Dillahunty and the atheists use, who just want to measure the world. All that sort of stuff doesn't fit into what people want to call spirituality and all those sorts of things. And she makes sure to stay away from woo and all, and doesn't grift their money. And how dare he say all that stuff? And
you see, Morgan, 3 hours of church every Sunday is harder than leaving the church. That's where we should have gone. Going to church harder than leaving the church.
So intro, Matt's critique defining what spirituality is. It's just a new word for awe. But I mean, I think it's kind of the thing of like you academize anything and you've taken the same thing out of it. If you academize the word spirituality, maybe if you're talking to some lady who just wants to say, yeah, I feel spirit with God or something like it, you're talking. But if you go and academize it, I think you've deracinated the word from its mysticalness anyway. Meaning without God, the science of awe, ritual and psychology, all this sorts of stuff we talk about, inner work. Why use the word? I mean, it's all that same sort of stuff. Sam Harris and Carl Sagan use the word. So we're reclaiming it from religious people. Religious people don't get to just have that word. We need to reclaim it from them. And we failed Ayaan Hirsi Ali. We failed her because we didn't have any sort of word that could. I don't think Ayaan Hirsi Ali went back to Christianity because of awe. I think she.
I know.
I think she went because of political insanity.
It was more structural for her, wasn't it? Like
political structure around something that was going to actually protect against other structures that were going to take over if you just became flighty little spirituality doodly doodles. Psychedelics and atheist. She says everybody who ever did a psychedelic became a spiritual and doesn't think like a hardcore atheist anymore. Maybe that's like a little true of like the hardcore atheism, but no, I did not become Cara Burrell when I did psychedelics. Why
I developed empathy.
That's the time, I have a couple different empathy things here. There's like a long post about calling that type of empathy narcissistic rather than just suicidal.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Narcissistic empathy. Secular reconstruction. Anyway, she of course has a whole portion of this where she blames all of this sort of tracking of what atheism is and deconstructing spirituality on a patriarchal ethic. It's a patriarchal, man. It's a patriarchal way of thinking. It's a male way of thinking, and spirituality is a female way of doing that.
Checkmate, Dillahunty.
But she preambles it knowing like I don't want to be that person, so that makes it okay.
I guess Dillahunty did find the most patriarchal way of being straight by like slapping his dick on the dick of another woman.
Blame them for that because it's part of being human. And my last note, I really don't even want to do this because inevitably I'm going to get a comment that I'm just a part of the gender war. But I do think there's a little patriarchy in this conversation. Not because, like, calm down, comment section. Not because you're a man calling out a woman. Like, I'm talking in this space. I deserve to be critiqued.
You only Dillahunty gets that. You wouldn't give that to us.
What's the point in this stupid ass preamble where she's like, "There's some patriarchy in it. It's not that he's sexist, and it's not that he can't talk down on me because I'm a woman, and it's not that." She's just saying every time she says it's not that, she's trying to put that thing in your head. So it's like a defense, but she's hedging against you calling it a defense that she used.
100% of your other videos presuppose this patriarchy thing in the world. And it's ridiculous. It's not the cosmos.
It would be wrong to not critique me just because
I think her patriarchy beliefs about the cosmos are more woo than her spirituality beliefs.
Because I'm a woman. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how spirituality has been defined in this conversation and how men, not Matt, just men in general, have been using a specifically male-oriented approach to the term spirituality. So Matt repeatedly frames spirituality as its only valid form would be a truth claim that can be debated, tested, falsified, and defended, like the universe having transcendent meaning or whatever. And he says that spirituality is devoid of testable, identifiable content, has no clear, testable, real propositions, and therefore is an unfalsifiable proposal based on vague feelings. And that is how specifically priest class men historically have always defined spirituality. Men who have had the microphone in this space have defined.
Priest class men insisted that it was measurable through history? What? Priest class men were Enlightenment empiricists through history?
Okay, I understand what she's trying to say because spirituality is such a vague, retarded term that like everybody defines in their own stupid ass way. But to tie it to patriarchy, that's where it gets retarded. That's where it's like you're just hiding behind this assumption that we all make that patriarchy is a thing that exists and that it's bad. And it's just I don't know, it's a cowardice shield. You frozen?
Am I?
Oh, no, it's just your camera was frozen.
Oh, yeah, I hear you. Sweet. I don't know if I want to keep listening to that one right there. Stop sharing that. What do you think's going to happen next in the Hambly situation?
I don't know. It's because I listened to. Did you hear Sydney Watson's stuff she came out with?
Oh yeah, that's true. Sydney Watson said that he pressured her with money. He took money from her to do drop shifting stuff. Said he never paid her, even though the rumor out there is that he gave her $250,000.
Yeah, that's what he said. But it's also so I don't know. The problem is she's saying that like I've got all this stuff about him that would prove why he's this way, but I don't want to reveal it because I'm afraid he would retaliate by doxing me or he's got some stuff on me that I don't want people to know. And I'm like, well, like he's probably just gonna do that anyway. Like from the shit he's got nothing to lose now. Like there's no reason to not just go scorched earth on everybody.
There's just something to it. I mean, I feel kind of bad for using that ring rat term, but they use them for the ring rats in wrestling. The chicks who just popped up with all the different characters kind of constantly, but she's kind of just racking them up. You know what I mean? Like how are you always in the eye of the tornado of these types of dudes? Is it because you just go to these people who offer you up money and just say yes to every single one of those situations? Like where's your discernment in this at any point? But there was totally a level. Chrissy was totally lying and full of shit. And I don't know what the Friday Night Tight guys should do because she's totally playing coy. They're all playing kind of like these different little versions of victimhood that's like so gross. But Brittany and Lauren Southern at the same time, mean girl all over the planet. Like that's just what they do. And it's like there's part of me is like I can't pick a dog in this fight very much. I mean, but I don't know if Friday Night Tights should have Chrissy back on, even though she'd been just kind of under the radar fine for years. You know?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't care if they have her on or not.
I think she was kind of ridiculously obviously lying, but
she was, yeah. But
oh, what you gonna do? A Daily Wire's been going after the Civil Rights Act, which is kind of wild for them.
Yeah,
kind of hardcore for them. Which Matt Walsh has brought up all sorts of stuff. Like he's got actually kind of backed up videos of the way agitprop was used back in the day. He found these videos that it's always been one of the most funny things about the left for me in general, which used to drive me crazy in the beginning of the Jordan Peterson days, is that like I came through university and graduate school and all that sorts of stuff. And you go like, these guys write it down. They put in their books like what their tactics are and what their things are. Like they say what they're doing. They don't hide it clandestinely like the alt-right or the Christian nationalists or anything like that, even though they get more and more brazen as it goes. But there was all this stuff through history that people just made documentaries interviewing the firsthand people of how at all of the different peaceful rallies, there were agitprop people in it actually kind of causing violence and trying to tip off the police officers, purposefully doing it to make them attack and doing that sort of thing for years. And if it didn't work, get kids to do it so you could get the picture of the agitprop. And not only is that something we all kind of knew or generally understood was happening, that go, if you're not a victim, go and make sure it looks like you're a victim in some sort of situation. But to have like all these videos of the people bragging that that's how they pulled it off. It was like that Time magazine cover of like that bragged about how they fortified the election. It's like, you guys can't help yourselves but brag about the sneaky thing that you did.
I know.
It's so wild that they did that. Like I was actually even kind of shocked at all these different people that Matt Walsh was pulling up that were bragging about how they played the media with agitprop.
Yeah, Matt Walsh is even going. He even brought up the what's her face? The bus lady.
The Rosa Parks.
She said, yeah, Rosa Parks. He brought up the Rosa Parks thing. I think he's like a month away from explaining to us that like the last part of Anne Frank's diary was written in ballpoint pen, and that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, what's funny about the Rosa Parks thing, like once again, go back to Radio Lab, the same guys who covered Shia. I wish I could find that art that episode about Shia LaBeouf's camera. Like maybe somebody's ripped it somewhere. But they have a whole episode. It's called like the Extent Law or something like that. They go as a 2-parter where they go into detail about how Rosa Parks was agitprop, and she was
Really?
not only that, it's the exact same thing. Like they brag about it. It's documented. It's well documented in paper that this was the game and that's what we played and this is how we did it. And yeah, just not even shy about it. It's like, well, this is how you play the game. This is how you get laws made. This is there. It's called like extent. So extent something of like you go and create the case for the thing happening purposefully. Yeah. Yeah, they went into detail, and there's even like stuff about it, like the cop was in on it, like he's part of the agitprop. It's like, I will arrest you, and then we'll get a picture and all that sort of stuff, and not even like clandestinely. It was like photo op. It was like full photo op. Like okay, let's get to the bus. Okay, you stand here, like all that sort of stuff.
It'll be we'll have a nice luncheon afterward.
Yeah. So much is fake. So much is fake all over between
Fake and gay.
Fake and gay, I guess, is the term of how they say it nowadays. Here's
What are we watching?
what happened to Kwaku. I think Kwaku's just kind of out. I don't think he's like fully in with the word guys right now, but I can't tell. He'll drop a TikTok here and there, but they're all just kind of personal jokey stuff.
Yeah, maybe they realize he's insane finally.
Yeah. Hold on, I can't. Oh, I gotta stop sharing the screen. Okay, share screen. Here's like this long article on the rebranding of narcissism as empathy is nearly complete.
I like it.
It's kind of long. I don't know if I'm gonna go into the whole things. Maybe I had Grok like sum it up. But I mean, do you even need it? Do you even need it read? Do you even need to know all that says? I mean, you know what it says already.
Yeah, you know what it says.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how people still kind of like walk around just kind of blankly cocking their head back and spouting empathy and not kind of realizing that there's been a bunch that's been kind of exposed about that. I mean, I guess maybe they don't see that it's become a major topic on Twitter nowadays or that sort of thing.
I don't know how you can't. I don't. It's like when you see something that's just said too much, and it should annoy you if the thing is said too much. That'll be your first thing to really start thinking about that thing. And empathy is just constantly spouted by crazed lefties. Even if it wasn't crazy people, I don't know. It's because I get annoyed with dumb little verbiage, like in Ex-Mormon World when they talk about the shelves. I didn't use the shelf thing for very long because everybody did that and it was annoying. But that's the same thing with empathy. It first started to just annoy me on a repetition level, and then I was like, okay, why is this annoying me? And you just kind of look into it a little bit. You think about it for half a second. You don't have to look into it. It's everything is empathy. Like,
yeah.
The whole reason I do everything is empathy, and it's just it's a badge of honor. It's
a badge of honor. It's usually fake. It's usually self-referential, as it says here. It's usually narcissistic, looking to make yourself, narcissism masquerading as a virtue. What was one of the things I saw down there that it said? It's projection. I mean, that's one of the things Rob Henderson's gotten into. Like one of the key aspects that they've gotten into, and in actual psychological studies, is that the empathetic person is actually just really good at projecting their own emotions onto people. And it's not even the emotions of who they're supposedly feeling empathy for.
That's Robin DiAngelo. Like you just explained Robin DiAngelo.
Yeah, it's pure projection and assuming that it's a thing. Oh, Chud the Builder. You want to talk about Chud the Builder?
Chud, he's fucked. I mean, I think he's fucked. He's right. He's got to be.
I don't know how. Yeah, I mean, so Chud. Can you explain who Chud the Builder is? Like Chud the Builder and Gypsy Crazy. Like I kind of don't understand how that stuff got popularized on X. And part of me thinks it sniffs weird, but
Yeah, I don't know. So Chud the Builder, he's the guy that he'd go out and walk up to black people, and if they ever gave him a hard time, he would live stream it, and he would like yell racial slurs at them and tell them they're chimping. What, are you gonna chimp out, bro, or whatever? And like in the first time anybody saw him, like every person was like, he's gonna get killed.
Yeah, everybody could see it from the beginning, and part of me is like, how is this even like getting in? The way stuff used to get banned, to have this thing be a thing that not only got extremely popular, but you could see everywhere. I guess it could only happen on X or Twitter or something like that.
Yeah.
But I never sought out Chud the Builder. I never looked for him, and I saw a bunch of his videos just by scrolling Twitter videos. Like Twitter videos are like YouTube used to be. Does your YouTube still play the next video?
Yeah.
Mine doesn't.
Well,
somehow.
Mine stopped doing that for a long time, but it's been within like the last month or so. It's started doing it again.
So Twitter videos 100% play the next video, and a lot of them are so short you almost kind of aren't expecting it. Like I click on a video, I think it's a 2-minute video, it's a 30-second video, it's already on to the next video. Chud the Builder, the videos would come up to me, and it's like the next thing I'm listening to, and maybe it's my algorithm or something like that. But next thing I'm listening, well, a bunch of the videos that pop up to me too are kind of like what world star hip hop fights, just fights, or before, maybe this is the stuff that just like trends or gets people watching, so then it like gets pumped in algorithms or something like that, because I'll suddenly get videos of before the accident happens and to major crazy accidents. It's like Twitter accidentally these days becomes like faces of death for me. Like if like 1 or 2 videos in, I'm watching somebody in India die, hundreds of people in India die from trains, which seems to happen every 10 seconds or something. Do you get those videos too?
Oh, all the time. And it's wild how their friends react. Like when their friends just like hanging off the side of a train for fun, and then they get smashed in the face by a pole at 80 miles an hour. And their friend's like, oh man,
another day. Yeah. Have you seen like drowning? Like there's drowning videos like that. Like it's so weird. Maybe it's like third world or something like that. But there does seem to be like a strange casualness to constant death happening all around them.
Oh yeah.
It's so weird. Or like there's no action or reaction. Maybe it's just complete awareness that there's no 911 to call or something like that. But
yeah, I guess. I mean, I think we're just underestimating the human mind's ability to become jaded.
yeah. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Did you ever see the stuff? It was kind of trending a while back that people said that there was maybe even some sort of religious belief in India that if you got hit by a train, it would carry you to something. So people were kind of purposely going out that way.
Oh, really? I didn't see
that. Yeah. So just by being on Twitter and the videos, you just catch the weird stuff, and this guy would come up, and so next thing you know, I'm just like listening to something in the gym, and then there's this guy calling a bunch of black guys the N-word, which I think until him, I never saw people just standing there calling black guys the N-word until the other guy, Gypsy Crusader, started popping up too.
Oh, Gypsy Crusader was before him by a long time.
So they're just kind of two different guys, and it's not, as I said before, it's not 1,000,000% low IQ. I mean, like, I'm a fractal Yoko, I'm calling it. They're ostensibly trying to make a point that it's ridiculous that a word should make people so upset. But
yeah, it is. It's whenever you see that there's a bunch of lefties in the comments section, not just lefties, but a lot of lefties just saying like, "Oh, that guy's gonna get shot." Like, hold on a second, but why is he gonna get shot?
Yeah, for saying like there's no word you could say to Whitey that for sure is gonna get you sooner or later killed.
Yeah, like why are you so certain he's gonna get shot? Isn't that sort of a really damning?
Yeah, and then there's an even further part that there's for sure not a word that you'd say to a white person that sooner or later is going to get you killed, that most people in the society would then say, well, then that was justified. That was defense, you know, or something like that. But that being said, this guy would push it, man. I would watch those videos. I'm like, you have any criminal, dude? Like, get away from the situation. And why are you like, you know?
I was surprised by how much he could push it without being shot. Maybe that should restore a little bit of faith.
Yeah. So sooner or later we're gonna get the videos and all that sorts of stuff. But he ended up shooting somebody and getting shot himself a little bit, which was always. I mean, how long has he been popular? 2 months, 3 months? I mean, I've only seen him 2-3 months.
Maybe a little bit longer than that, I think, but not much, as far as I know, anyway.
Gypsy Crusader guy's not going to get shot, although it kind of comes out more and more in some of the stuff that they're figuring out where he lives, maybe. But his is all done on Omegle, so that Omegle thing where like you flash camera to the next person, flash camera to the next person.
It was, but he also had a thing maybe 6 months back, maybe last year sometime, where he ran into a black dude in an airport that recognized him.
Would he talk the same way to him?
Oh, he did. He was
oh my
like,
gosh,
"You're the guy that says the N-word instead. Are you gonna call me?" And he did right there in the airport. He is strikingly he resembles Chud quite a bit, you know.
So this guy gets to do performance art, and I saw Salted Crackers talking about it earlier today. And Salted Crackers had a point. Like there was somebody who there was a black guy just a couple months ago who killed an old man in his driveway. And claimed afterwards the guy was mean to me or rude to me, and the guy got like a slap on the wrist. You can watch the video. He ran up and football tackled the dude out of nowhere, like an old guy or something like that, and he gets like 2 years in prison or something. Like it, like keeps constantly happening, like ridiculous slaps on wrists.
Yeah, that's insane.
And judges saying like, "Well, I understand that you were upset, like being upset about being set off." For some word is some sort of okay to do those terrible things. And he's now looking at possibly 60 years. And the guy he shot didn't die. But I mean, if it were equal both ways in society, like, I mean, the other guy should have gotten life because he for sure killed the person. An attempted, who knows what happened in the situation. You were joking earlier, and I agree with it. Like, if we have a Rittenhouse video of this one, and then
I hope I was saying I hope my honest to God hope is that the video comes out and it is completely obvious that Chud instigated this, because if not,
if we have to Rittenhouse defend.
Oh, I don't want to have to defend this guy in arguments.
No, I don't either. But I'd have to if it was just a word and the other guy attacked him or something like that. And, like, be like, that's not cool, but it's not, you know.
Yeah, he was a dick to you. Like, yeah, he called your wife a bitch, but that doesn't mean that you can break his jaw, you know? Like, you can't.
I mean, I guess it's his own type of Rosa Parks performance art, right? but if it's 60 years on the line for him, I'm not jealous of that. I don't know. I don't know with all this stuff. I don't know what they're doing, and I don't know like why it got so like crazy popular on Twitter and that sort of stuff. But so we'll see if he's the Rosa Parks of like, I should get the same slap the other dude got or something like that, or if he's going to prison to make an extant case. That's an extant case for us. Weirdo. Some people made a video. You remember the gay San Francisco choir of "We're Coming for Your Children"?
Oh yeah, that was, guys, come on.
So a video was going around, and they did a pedo search on a bunch of the gays.
Oh no! Oh no!
And it's not good.
Oh no! You fucking idiots! It was already such bad optics. Ah.
Penetration, rapid fire through your skull. We're taking it back to the days of trying to lose control.
Oh, they're all under 14.
Yeah, not good on that one. Another chance to make up for last week. Your degenerate book club. You were correct on a thing. You want to correct the degenerate book club on the.
Oh no, we were both right about that. Like, cause.
Oh no, I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, so
if you wanted to say what you found out for sure, because I have the things there.
Yeah. So okay, yeah, this is the book I got forever ago.
Well, last week Hassan was reading this book by Lenin, and Jared's like, well, "That's not Lenin. That's this other dude who inspired him." Hassan fake reading, like I need to find those pictures of LeBron James fake reading.
Yes. No, it's called What Is to Be Done, and I didn't remember that Lenin had written a book of that same title, because I remember a few
Who's
years.
first? Was one ripping off the other? I don't even know the lore of that.
Oh no, it's so Lenin. I remember the whole reason I got that book is because it was when I was super into Russian shit. I heard this
same feel, same energy, same energy. This sounds so dumb. He's been doing streams like coming on like dressed in a suit and tie like Nick Fuentes lately. Like he's gonna be serious guy now. But sorry, what were you saying?
Anyway, I got into the Russian shit, and I heard somebody talking about the book that inspired Lenin, and it was this by Nikolai Chernyshevsky. What Is to Be Done, and so I was like, oh, I should read that to find out what inspired Lenin to be the fucking dumbass. And I still haven't read. I started it when I got it, and it is so fucking dull. I should pick it back up again and check it out. But so this was written in like the.
Is it a communist book? I don't know this book at all. I know.
Well, I said,
I haven't read Lenin's book, but I had read about that Lenin's book.
Like I said, I didn't read it, so I'm not totally sure. But I was like, I'll get it, but it did inspire. It was written in like the late 1800s, and it did inspire Lenin enough that he wrote a book of the same name, and it was about his philosophy. If you go to the next image, it shows the two. I love this. It has two reviews on it. One is from Lenin, and one is from Turgenev. And Turgenev, he was a little bit politically stupid, but he also wrote one of my favorite books. It's called Fathers and Children. It has a guy who is known as the best written nihilist in Russian literature or something like that. And it's a great novel. It's pretty short, so if anyone wants to read it, it's awesome.
Yep. You're right. So I'll go back to that. It predated Lenin by quite a bit there. 20 what? When did Lenin write his? He didn't write his by the 20s. It was written.
Oh yes, I forgot. This one was in direct response to the Fathers and Children. It's Fathers and Sons is the English translation, but Fathers and Children is the actual.
So Turgenev this was in response to him, and this is his critique of the book responding to him.
Yes. So he said, well, the Lenin one was great. He's like, I read every word of Chernyshevsky's magnificent comments about aesthetics, art, and literature. I was conquered by Chernyshevsky's encyclopedic knowledge, the clarity of his revolutionary views, and his unyielding polemic talent. And then Turgenev says, I read almost all the pieces in The Contemporary, but pardon me, I could hardly get through Chernyshevsky. His style arouses physical revulsion in me, like worm seed. If this is, I won't even say art or beauty, but this is intelligence and something worthwhile, then all I can do is crawl under a bench somewhere. What a twat. What a catty bitch. I gotta read it.
It's a novel.
It is. Yeah.
I thought it was just like some piece of.
So what I'll say is that Turgenev's novel Sons and Children or Fathers and Children it's about some parents who send their son off to college basically, and he comes back with this I can't really remember the guy's name, but the son comes back with his new college associate, his friend, and that dude is just like a massive nihilist, and the son's kind of trying to become a nihilist. He's being influenced by this guy. And it's sort of about conflict, the age-old conflict between the former generation and the current generation, and how they sort of come together. I think the guy's name was Bazarov, the nihilist guy. But once you, I don't know, you read that and then you read this as like a critical response to it. That's the whole reason I wanted to read it. Now I remember is that it was a critical response to this awesome piece of literature that most people will put up there with, like the brothers Karamazov or War and Peace. Not quite that high, you know, but it's not as well known. But he's considered one of the 3 great Russian novelists. But that's why I want to read it. Like, okay, what's your criticism of the parents and children need to come together book? What's your big beef?
Well, obviously, major theme right there. The big thing's women's liberation. I can see that being at odds, right?
With parents and children need to get along.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be, but it
free,
should be.
If the major theme is free love and equality in marriage, I mean, can't have that. Rejection of patriarchal. This is 1862.
Mm-hmm.
Man, nothing's new under the sun.
No, it really isn't. That's one of the coolest things you get reading Dostoevsky, is realizing that nothing is fucking new.
Totally. Or that Russia went through what we're going through, 150 years ago. Maybe they were just ahead of us. Although I think that stuff happens all over. You ready to talk of the sloppa?
Okay, well, what slop are we talking about?
Oh, we got the Odysseus. I'm Odysseus, near Helen of Detroit.
I almost forgot we were gonna talk. Oh fuck! Oh, Christopher Nolan, why?
Yeah, so we already know who he cast as Troy, Helen of Troy, which everybody's got their opinions on that. I was just listening to Metatron talk about it, and him being from Italy and Greece takes offense to it. They take his culture. They've taken his culture away. But word on the street is that Ellen, Jared's crush, is going to be Achilles.
Yeah, she's in the movie. We know she's in the movie. We're not positive she's Achilles yet, but based on the trailers, it kind of looks like she's Achilles, which is hilarious because if you know at all the story of the Odyssey, Achilles isn't a prominent character in it. He's
already dead, isn't he?
Yeah, Odysseus meets his ghost, and he's complaining about. He's kind of talking about how bummed he is to be dead, and he should have just lived a simple life. And Odysseus kind of cheers him up a little bit by telling him how awesome his son is. I think we talked about this last week because I was like, wait a minute, that's really fucking weird. Achilles would be like, yes, my son, the apple of my eye since I birthed him.
Yeah, but is that going to be in the dialogue? I wonder.
Probably because he's a man. He's a man, so of course he can inseminate a woman.
So Jared sent over this cartoon.
This was funny. Is
there no one else?
Achilles is unstoppable. We cannot let this massacre continue. They must have of some weak point.
They.
Dude, I love it. You got LeBron in the background.
There's a basketball.
Oh, dude, these background characters are great. Look, you got the rapper in the background of that.
Oh yeah, there's a rapper. They have a rapper. I forgot.
There, look. Not Achilles' wrist.
Achilles' wrist is the side of weakness now.
And in case there's anybody in here that doesn't get it, that's how they make a Frankencock for female to male transgender is that they will either take thigh flesh or wrist flesh to fashion just the most ungodly looking neocock you could imagine. It's horrid. Look, I have definitely looked at pictures. I have shown people pictures because I like showing people things that are very unsettling, and it is very unsettling. And that's what their wrist looks like after. It looks like that.
The extra subtle touch is that what's with the Ozempic jaw. I mean, which seems to be going on as well with whatever Elliot. So then people made this. Is there no volume?
There should be. There it is. Oh fuck.
Man,
I knew that was gonna happen as soon as that started playing. Oh fuck.
just the first spear. Some people like pointed out, I think I have the, oh yeah, this is the rapper. Christopher Nolan explains why he cast Travis Scott in the Odyssey. I cast him because I wanted to nod towards the idea that this story has been handed down as oral poetry, which is an analog to rap.
That's oh dude, that's so deep. We know why you did it, Nolan. And it doesn't even have to necessarily be because you're woke. It's because of the standards.
The Oscar, you think it's just straight up? I think
it might actually be some woke shit. I've heard people talk about how his brother is a huge wokey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's very, very possible that Nolan is a wokey. But yeah,
that's got to be the Oscar percentages, though. I
have to assume that's what it is.
I thought I had the clip of it, but some of the Oscar percentages were one of your main leads has to be a minority. Mm-hmm. So that's obviously why she's cast. I mean, it's probably honestly that they just, hey, you want to know, she's a pretty gal too.
No, she's not ugly. Why do they have to make her look like that?
Yeah, they could have even made her prettier.
I mean, you look at the picture to the left of it shortly when she's at some awards ceremony. She's very pretty, but they make her look like, bleh.
Yeah,
she looks like she's in a National Geographic. Right. Well, not quite, because her skin looks fantastic in that, but
But do you think there's something even cynical in that? Like probably Helen maybe had the least lines in it or something like that. So that's the one that he's going to make his minority casting or something like that.
That's a good point. See, I already think it's kind of weird to cast Matt Damon as Odysseus.
Well, Odysseus is older, right?
I can't remember how old he is in the Odyssey. I haven't read it since high school, because the Odyssey, I'm pretty sure it spans a long period of time. It's annoying.
The journey. How old is?
It's also annoying that they have Tom Holland and Zendaya in it.
Zendaya is going to be Athena.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I don't even know that I'm going to do that because supposedly he's telling a tale with the mysticism taken out of it. So how is Athena a god in it, or just somebody who reaches like god level of stuff? Or
yeah, there are no gods in it, apparently.
I need to.
Well, and then I wish we could get my friend Kristen in here on this because she is spazzing out. It's like Morgan's best friend. She is spazzing out about this casting. It's hilarious to listen to. But I will say
the war lasts 10 years. His journey home takes another 20 years, so he's 20 years older from whenever he went to war.
Yeah,
so now to say mid-40s.
I mean, so Matt Damon's not the wrong old age. Well, Matt Damon is older than that, right? But
upon returning home, mid-40s to early 50s, which I guess is what
I will say. Zendaya was spot on casting in Dune. I just sent a picture to the Facebook group about Zendaya in Dune. It's one of my favorite pictures of all time.
Oh, my dog's yanking on my arm. Hold on. Oh my gosh.
That's
she's just like Pedro Pascal to me, like all this stuff of like who is the person who's like just the most absolutely in the middle who gets chosen as the one to be like, I think they're perfectly exactly right at the top of the bell curve. Like both of them, like I don't think they're bad or good or whatever. Like even their acting, like they're just like square, plain. just plain.
Well, here's the thing. I
And
liked
they're
Pedro-
ambiguously plain, like in their ethnicity too. It's like you're just somewhere in the middle of everything.
I liked Pedro Pascal as an actor.
I liked
And
him in
I liked him in Game of
Narcs.
See, Game of Thrones was the first thing I saw him in. I was like, that's awesome. And then when I heard he was in Narcos, I was like, sweet, I'll watch it because Pedro Pascal's in it. And he was great
good.
in that.
He was good in that, yeah.
I sent so this is my favorite picture of Zendaya by herself, but I did just send you my favorite picture of Zendaya with Tom Holland.
Okay, let me get on. Trying to do it without. Oh my gosh. There's been because like I won't give Zendaya a 0. There's something about her like she's just too. How old is she now?
She's probably mid-20s, right? Probably late 20s.
Because just like Tom Holland, like both of those two seem eternally 14 years old.
Oh yeah.
So it's like she can't be like the voluptuous goddess person because she just seems too.
She's 29.
But she can be cute sometimes, especially like in certain ways they'll.
But she's also not a bad actor, and Tom Holland's actually a really good actor. The problem is they cast him as the most obnoxious Spider-Man, and then they're like, oh, he did so good and was so successful. That's all he should ever be. So when he was in the Uncharted movie,
he's typecast as that.
Yeah, he's typecast as Peter Parker and the shittiest version of Peter Parker. And so in what was it? The Uncharted movie. Did you ever watch that?
I did not. I heard that was just an absolute train wreck.
Well, it was ass, and part of why it was ass is because like they wanted to make it back when the first Uncharted game came out, and Mark Wahlberg was going to be Nathan Drake. He would have been terrible, but like now he's too old to play Nathan Drake, and so they're like, well, he still wants to be in the movie, so we'll make him Sully. Did you play those games?
Yeah, I played one of them.
Yeah,
and I didn't finish it. 'Cause to me, those games were too. It was like playing a movie.
It is. Yeah.
Like you're going through a movie and then you just click a couple buttons, like click X now. Click. It's like the cut scenes of the early God of Wars, but all the way through. You know?
Yeah, it is. But it was the first of its kind for me, so I liked those games. But Sully is like probably in his early 60s in that game. He's got like white hair, maybe mid 60s even. So like, well, Mark Wahlberg still wants to be in the movie, so he'll be Sully. And he was way too young to play Sully. And he's too Mark Wahlberg. He could probably pull off a Nathan Drake, definitely can't pull off a Sully. And then Tom Holland as Nathan Drake, he was just annoying Peter Parker. But if you watch him in other things, like if you watch The Devil, what is it? The Devil All the Time, I think is what it's called. It's a Netflix movie. It's pretty good.
I have not seen him in anything but as Spider-Man, and I think he's been good. As
he plays like just a nice Southern American boy in that, and he does the accent great. I mean, granted, he does the Peter Parker sort of Brooklyn.
He's a British guy doing it.
Yeah.
That's good.
No,
nothing drives me crazier than a Brit doing a bad American or Southern accent.
Yeah, but so he's a good actor, but they typecast him, and he's so since they've typecast him so much, he looks weird and like I don't know, in like an ancient Greek sort of story. That feels out of place, and it's almost like I don't know. Like,
what do you think of Nolan himself? Like Nolan movies?
I like The Dark Knight. I honestly, it's kind of an unpopular opinion. I didn't really like Batman Begins all that much. Like it was fine, and I don't.
I thought it was perfectly certain. Like I would take a Batman Begins right now, any day of the week.
Oh fuck yeah!
But that's graded up from when it came out. When it came out, I was like, that was a serviceable movie.
Dark Knight Rises, I don't remember well enough to love it or hate it.
Rises was a mess, but
yeah,
still
I remember thinking that, but I don't remember the movie hardly at all. But I would say Interstellar, I fucking love. I
liked Interstellar. I only seen it once though.
See, I watch it every 2 years or so. I really like Interstellar. Even the cheesy like the fourth dimension is love thing.
Yeah.
Inception was fine. Like it was pretty good. Everyone loved it, and I watched it once, and I don't think I'll watch it again. But I liked it all right. I hear Tenet I hear Tenet's terrible, but I
Tenet-
never watched
Tenet
it.
is a slog. It's really like you're gonna watch it. Like, there's no way I understood all that, and you
I
have
like-
to
I
watch
liked,
it again and again to understand it. And I don't think it's worth it too.
Yeah, I like Dunkirk. It was fine.
Dunkirk, I think, really, really suffered from deciding to tell it in a Tarantino style.
Yeah, it was a little bit, but
It should have just been linear.
it should have. Because it took me a while to figure out like what the fuck is he.
I had
talking
no
about?
idea going into it that it was non-linear. And
No,
I was so
'cause-
confused.
What is it? It says like 2 weeks, 2 days, 2 hours. You're like, what the fuck do you mean 2 hours until what? But it's not until. It's just like this takes place in 2 weeks. This takes place in 2 hours, and this takes place in 2 days. And you, okay, that's okay.
Yeah, you know that the premise of Tenet is Charles's quote there. I saw a meme today that said, "Achilles, I challenge you to open this jar of pickles." Tenet, you know what the premise of Tenet is?
I know it's got something weird to do with like time in reverse or something.
Yeah, and so
Is
then
that Chadwick Boseman in that?
Denzel Washington's kid.
Was that? Oh, I thought it was Chadwick Boseman.
No, I forget what his name is. Yeah, he hasn't been in a lot of stuff. I don't think his star is picking up like his dad. I remember he was in like this HBO football series, and I was like, this kid doesn't have what his dad has. Denzel Washington's son. What's his name? John David Washington. This guy.
Really? Okay, look, buddy, you want to be like you're a famous actor, and you want your kid to become an actor at some point because that's what you're trying to do. Like you're gonna nepotism your kid in there. You name him John. You give him 2 names.
Yeah, you got to give him
The second one's
something.
David.
Yeah, they should have given him something snazzy or pizzazzy there or something too. But so much of Denzel Washington is not only like a great actor, but so much of like his hype when we were younger is that he was the GQ super attractive man of the universe back in the 90s and all that sort of stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't think that guy has it. He's short too. So
is he?
yeah, he's like 5'5". I don't
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah, the movie just becomes, I think it's kind of like technically kind of interesting what he did and all that sort of stuff, but you can just kind of tell like there's so much going on of like what you're kind of piecing together of what's going backward and what's going forward, and you're not telling me the first time because you want me to watch it 5 times to figure out. And no thanks, like I just don't care. Like, I'm not gonna-
Nah.
yeah. What about Oppenheimer?
Oh, see, I still haven't watched Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer's okay, it's pretty good, but
Okay, history.
again decided to tell it in Tarantino style, and a bunch of people were wondering, is he going to Tarantino the Odyssey? Like he's just so in love with that sort of thing. But I think Nolan's pretty good. Like he's
clearly talented.
Yeah, the stuff's always interesting enough, which means I'll probably watch the Odyssey. I've never seen Memento. You ever seen it? Oh, and there's that other Memento.
No.
That's one of his first like famous movies, and it's told in backwards. It's a guy who loses his memory every day, so he has to tattoo his body so he remembers stuff.
Oh.
And then he also had that movie, The Prestige, which is pretty good.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was him.
He's always interesting, but always interesting enough that I'm gonna probably have to watch the stupid thing and be irritated by it. Just like I'm sitting there watching The Boys. Only one more episode of The Boys to go, and I made it.
I don't think I'm even gonna watch Odyssey. I don't know. I might like if
for sure not in theaters. But.
If it were the story of Achilles, like if it were a remake of Troy, and they had Elliot Page as Achilles,
you'd be there.
I would watch the shit out of that.
You'd be there for Jared's Jenner book club.
Oh hell yeah, I would watch that. But
obviously now somebody's going to CGI or grok up the entirety of the Troy movie.
I'll watch the fuck.
That might be the first one. We've been waiting for the first completely substituted movie, and that will probably be the first one.
Oh, I hope so.
Because I've always been predicting, and it's probably not far off in the future, that you just get to a point and be like, I'd like to see The Matrix, but let's put Farley in the Will Smith in the as Neo, and I don't know, Belushi is, and you could just watch the movie that way, which would be wild. As soon as they put in as soon as they take over all of Box Elder County, we will be able to see Elliot Page as Troy.
Yeah, Matt Walsh was just telling me about the dangers of data centers.
So it looks like what we need to get out of all this is a king, because if we had a king, we could return back to no more slop, no more. Oh, wait, what's this?
Ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public services.
Oh, I was told by the Lotus Eaters that getting back to a king was the way out of all this slop.
It's funny to me that they still wear that shit. You look so goofy. You look like you're a fucking costume. I don't know. Far be it from me to criticize and say we need to modernize shit, but goddamn, you look goofy.
Did you see Jerry O'Connell getting back at it in another? He's probably going to get beat up by his wife and his daughters more for.
Oh, did he?
Well, he keeps making viral clips.
Here we go. So Jerry O'Connell with Jamie Kennedy here, and this is what Jamie Kennedy doesn't understand.
Jamie, this is what you're not understanding. Okay, you and Bill Maher also. We live in California.
Yeah,
we live here. Now you are almost like an older person, yelling at the clouds like,
you think I am?
You can't
I can
change
shave
what I'm saying. I will say what I said 30 years ago. You can't change me. And I'm saying you got to be a little more open to the universe. And I'm not, again, not to make this about horoscopes, but I'm an Aquarian.
Good
Lord. Oh, man.
He's not there yet.
Thing I've ever
Is he a woman? Is that not a joke?
I'm Aquarius.
He might have been joking.
There's got to be a joke, right? Saying aquarium instead. Like, even I know it's aquarium.
I think he said that on accident, but we'll get
on accident. No, that's got to be.
I think it was.
Well, let's just go saying I'm a spaghetti-o.
Water flows. I let water flow. I'm like water, baby.
Let's say you're at the Montage Hotel.
Okay, fancy hotel, 5-star boutique.
You're in
hotel.
the lobby.
Sure.
And there is a guy there who's about 35 years old.
Person.
Well, he's a
oh my God, fuck me. God damn. Oh my. Just unbelievable. We don't address male or female now? Okay.
Person. Well, he's a guy. I'm going to tell you why he's a guy. Because he's wearing a dress. He's wearing like a Jill Sanders skirt.
Oh, fun.
Beautiful. And you notice that his unit is hanging out. And it's about 8 inches.
8 inches?
Yeah. Soft.
By the way,
got excited.
Can he be any more creepy responding to this?
Oh, 8 inches.
Yeah.
All right. Big.
Let's continue here.
And he goes into the women's room. What say you? But he's wearing his Jill Sanders skirt.
I would say nothing.
Of course you wouldn't. And that's why we're fucking here. This is my voice, not his. He has nothing to do with this. That's why we're here. You must have an opinion, Mr. Aquarian, because there's sharks in those waters.
Yeah, that's what went viral. He would say nothing.
I don't know. What would you say something?
Yeah, if a guy was going like that into the bathroom.
Well, okay, yeah, no, you're right. If his dick is out, then yeah, it'd be like, okay, hold on.
Yeah, okay. If you're saying just like seeing a normal-ish,
if my wife,
and attempting to pass as a normal trans person.
Well, I saw this thing because honestly, like what I do with transgender people when I see them is I leave them alone. You know, I'll talk to them if it's relevant to talk to them and stuff. I'm not going to be a dick. And if I see them go into the women's restroom, generally speaking, if they're just normal looking, I'm going to roll my eyes and be like,
yeah, I probably if they're trying to act like.
Well, but I remember seeing this Reddit post by this transgender woman who was pissed off because he's at this theater and he gets done with the movie, and he's watching this guy walk with his wife and daughter, and those two are going into the women's restroom, and the transgender woman walks into the restroom first, but he sees the guy grab his wife and daughter by the shoulders and not let them go in. And then when he comes out, he sees, like, he makes eye contact with the guy, and the guy tells him to go in. I would do that for sure.
Yeah,
Like, I would absolutely, because I'm like, I don't want to make you feel like shit, but if it's let my wife and daughter go into the restroom with a dude in a dress, or not make you feel like shit, I'm going to choose to make you feel like shit. Like, I don't want to do that, but there are worse things than making you feel like shit and letting my wife and daughter go into a restroom with a dude in a dress. You know what? That's just not a risk I want to take.
I could dig them up. There's been two different major cases of picture taking in restrooms. Both of them like up in like the 60s, 80s.
Do you remember did we ever show it on stream, that Planet Fitness video?
Oh yeah, we did. And the lady got kicked out of Planet Fitness for forever.
Did she really? Is that what ended up happening?
She got banned.
Dude goes into the women's locker room and is obviously jerking off in the stall. Like, you can see the shadow of her dick just. And like,
and they confronted him.
I was cleaning myself repeatedly and rhythmically for 10 minutes straight. Okay, you fucking perv, get the hell out of here. We don't want to hurt her feelings. I don't care about her feelings. His feelings, whatever.
Did you see the bits where side scrollers here got into drama with Jeremy and Melanie Mac?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Melanie Mac used to be on this show, and Jeremy stole her from this show, and then
he was shitting on him. He was
later leaked in the DMs as like, you're too much of a big thing to be slumming it over there with those.
That wasn't even DMs. That was a live stream. He said that.
Oh, he said it. Oh man, and then he like denies that he says stuff like that. One of the big things that's obviously true of that whole entire thing is that the dude's a drunkard, and he needs to stop drinking.
Yeah, that's clear.
But what you gonna do? Major thing released 7,000 false positives per square millimeter. The culprit was the lab gloves. University of Michigan researchers just updated a core assumption in microplastic science, demonstrating that 7,000 false positives per one amount of thing, equivalent 100, has been because of the latex gloves used in the testing.
Wait, no way.
Yes.
I want to believe.
A lot of people's extra microplastic freakouts. I mean, it's obviously not all that. There's still microplastics, but how much they thought was in it, a lot of it had to do with the latex gloves in the testing. Wah, wah. It's good for you. Don't rape. Did everybody remember not rape this week?
I have not.
You did it?
I can't even tell you the last time I raped, honestly.
Nice. Denver police making a difference in the world. The View announces all new cast of angry middle-aged women. I haven't seen this. People are saying that the View's been going crazy and going off, and I just don't even care about it enough to even see like what the stuff is.
Yeah, it's like Whoopi Goldberg said something retarded. No way.
Yeah. I probably won't pull it up because we're running late, but I had a whole bunch of stuff about how education's failing, and then of course a whole bunch of other stuff with Colin Wright and other people still pulling things of PhDs getting passed for autoethnographies, and what a joke our entire education system from K through 12 all the way up to post-grad stuff is just like a ridiculous joke of stuff. And then somebody pulled out like some sort of IQ averages of what the average school teacher's IQ is, and they're like way low on that. I might have that here.
Oh, I would guess 100 is about the highest.
Yeah. And this is Colin Wright. Research has truly morphed into me search, and he's got several different people getting their PhDs for doing their autoethnographies of what it was like to be a queer person at an elementary school or something like that. And they basically just put out their journals. And you want to know what? I watched one of those persons talk about their dissertation at Sunstone one time. And it was exactly that. What it was like being a Black person growing up in a Mormon thing. And they just write out their whole shit. And they get called PhD for it at the end. You've been keeping the MILF in mind, the mindful, intentional, loving, fit as a mother MILF. You've been.
I think about MILFs a lot, is what I'll say.
Just
only one MILF for me.
Did you? Well, but you remember you're supposed to MILF. You're supposed to change MILF. You're in Idaho. MILF doesn't mean that anymore.
But it does. I'm a sucker for the classics.
You're just not a team player. Did you see the stuff about the diapers in California?
It'd be the first state in the nation to provide free diapers to newborns. Well, Karen Bass decided to one-up him and talk about how we need to get homeless or meth addicts' teeth.
And they have so many different like wasteful things. It's so funny because there was like this attack ad against Spencer Pratt, and it sounded like a positive ad for him.
Oh yeah, I was gonna actually get that and start it off as a sponsored as our sponsored ad, but
this diaper thing turns out it's all going to be run through an NGO that runs through his wife's, one of the ladies who sits on one of his wife's NGO. People went and rented a bunch of stuff. If you bought the diapers from Costco, you'd get them at 1/5 of the price of what they're getting them at.
That's just anything government. It's like, we'll give you the government rate of a 500% markup. It's always that. We had these. We have to take these. I think I've told this before, but we had to take these air samples, right? Because we do radiological shit, and there's a little filter, and it's got this plastic little head that the filter stays in, and it's just a dinky little piece of plastic. And we were paying like $60 a pop for those things, and we got a 3D printer. One of our more industrious technicians, she decided that she was going to figure out. She designed one of those filters on her own, didn't even ask for anything for it. She just did it, and then she started printing them. And so it's like 3 cents a filter and 3 cents a filter head instead. And she was printing them out, and it was great because they break all the time and we need new ones. We use several of them several times a day, and saving us a lot of money. And then the finance guy found out about it, which is crazy to me. The finance guy, the guy that's supposed to make sure we don't spend too much money, found out about it. And he said, well, we can't undercut the vendor. What the fuck are you talking? The guy that charges us $60 a pop for 3 cents worth of plastic? We can't. Oh, we don't want to rip him off. That's just how government shit works.
It's so unreal. And this is one of the major grifts that's happening in the world. Like, I guarantee our world population is a lie right now. And one of the reasons it's a lie is all those other countries that have eternal benefits and all this sorts of stuff like that. Areas of Japan where people live exceptionally long lives, it's just pension fraud. It's people keeping their supposed claims of families still alive. Ari Shafir was on with the Corolla, and he was talking about that. He said he lived down in South America, and he said all these people live here for so long, and he went and found out that none of them are actually that old or any sort of thing like that. It's all pension fraud in these places that are overly generous with that type of stuff. And there's a bunch of people who've been talking about China's population is probably half of what we actually think it is because there's so much of this type of thing going on there.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Not only that, I mean, they can look it up. One of the ways they found out that they can look it up is by salt use. Like, they can tell from salt use that it's half as large as they claim it is and stuff like that.
That's wild.
But it's all over the world.
I guess Mom Downey is based for getting rid of pensions then.
This just came up because Gavin McInnes was on with Pierce Morgan, and Pierce Morgan didn't understand per capita.
Oh my God, that was infuriating to watch. That was
with Andrew Wilson, who might be debating with Jacob soon. We'll see.
Oh, holy shit!
And then maybe we'll be seeing Jacob on Pierce Morgan next.
That white people commit the majority of crime in England. Yeah, they're the most people, so it would be shocking if they didn't.
But they didn't even bring up the point in that, but there's always the point of like, yeah, but any immigrant here didn't didn't have to be.
I know. That's
You
the
know?
funniest part. That's what people tell me, that, look, illegal immigrants commit actually less crime. Okay. Let's talk about that for a little bit. Because first of all, I don't believe you when you say that. I just flat out don't believe you. Also, part of why I don't believe you is because if you look at crime stats, the majority of violent crime committed against a certain demographic is people within that same demographic. How likely do you think people in the demographic of illegal immigrant are going to be to go to the authorities to report a crime? Sir, I'll give you all my information. He committed a crime against me. No, but also none of that had to happen. You're adding it like, oh yeah, you guys think about Lake and Riley too much. That was like one incident. Yeah, it was one incident that would not have happened if we didn't if our president didn't get up there and say, search the border.
Oh my God, I found it. And look at this. There's something else interesting on this. Teachers average among the least intelligent university graduates. Little of what they learn is even relevant to what they end up doing in a given year. The lowest scoring groups on the GRE, SAT, and NCT are usually those pursuing degrees in education. But look at this. There was one thing below it. Can you see?
Hang on. Okay. Counseling
psychology is the only thing under elementary education.
Of course. Oh shit.
Well, I didn't even know that was on there until I looked closer at it. Did you ever see the movie A Time to Kill?
I don't think so.
It was a big movie in the 90s, and it turned out that they basically did what the movie Adolescence did. I had no idea. The whole entire movie is about the reverse of the races happening, that it was a white guy who killed a black family, and it was the reverse. And I didn't know that until this week. It was based off a story where a black guy killed a white family. Very, very famous, like, civil rights movie, and it has like Tommy Lee Jones in it. And the idea of forcing the law is racist because minorities break the law more, and that must be due to racism. Maybe the stupidest critical idea ever. As of today, the LAPD is not allowed to pull anyone over for expired tags, non-functioning tail lights, cracked wings, or broken. Man, California is just getting through it and getting through it.
They're really trying to quadruple down on this shit, aren't they?
Oh, look, Pedro Pascal kissed Stephen Colbert to promote The Mandalorian. Did you see that?
Yeah, it's one of the least gay things he's ever done.
Lauren says, Pedro Pascal, I have a great idea. I'm going to go make out with Stephen Colbert. Disney, and how's that supposed to promote The Mandalorian? Pedro Pascal, The Mandalorian? I don't care. Yeah, that's enough on all that stuff. It's about time. It is right exactly 11 o'clock. Here is a way in California to save a really good parking spot. If you if you ever need to save a parking spot because there's no parking anywhere, you just do this.
That's fucking awesome.
It worked. It's smart. They actually did it. That's the way to do it around there.
Yeah, I mean, you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Did you hear?
I wouldn't have parked there. I mean,
that actually happened when I went to the Breckers with Flip this last Sunday. There was no parking, and I drove around, and a couple blocks away there was a spot. There's a guy just like that in it, and maybe he was doing it to me, right, as I had seen this joke. But I did not park in that spot.
I'd be like, "Fuck it, we're parking it. We're going somewhere else to eat. Fuck this."
Yeah, legit. I'm not even joking. It was legit that he wasn't right in the space. He was off to the side of it, but I was like, I'm not parking there. So, one last good funny one. Okay. Do you know a lot about racing?
No.
They had a women's race. The guys are kind of give it away.
I mean, great out there. Not that I'm shocked.
It's the start of the race.
Where they curve wheels all the time or anything like that. I'm definitely not saying that they're not as good of drivers as us. I'm not saying that we're. I'm just saying I'm shocked.
Wow.
Oh, they're following the kidney. They're following the pace truck. They're following the pace truck.
Wait, no way. That's not real, right?
It's real.
11. No way. The pace truck. No. Stop it, dude.
Fuck it.
No, they didn't. Again, I'm not saying we're better. All right, one to go this time. There's no way that's ever happened before.
All right, so I said I don't know anything about racing, but I know that about racing. All right. How did they just pull randos out of the crowd to do it or something?
It was like some mom's race. So it wasn't like professional racers or something
okay.
like that. But, yeah.
Well,
but they had been pre-trained. It wasn't like they were getting on the track cold or anything like that. So
there had to. How is there not one of them that was like, "What are these fucking idiots doing?" And just like,
I bet you it's kind of female psychology. I bet you a bunch of them were like, "This isn't what we're supposed to do, but I'm going to keep doing it because they did." I bet you that's like most of them.
Holy shit!
I would bet you 8 out of the 10 of them like felt that way, but were like, "Well, they did, so I better just keep going." So
Yeah, maybe I missed something.
Yeah. Anyway. That about does it. That does it.
Hot damn. Morgan mentioned we were talking about Pedro Pascal, and she said one of the least gay things he's done, and that was so. It's because I said it. I think she might be making a reference to this guy I work with, who will like an uncomfortable amount of times bring up butt stuff, like with people he barely knows, and he'll ask people like, "Hey, would you let your wife peg you?" And the guy will usually be like, "No." And he's like, well, if you're going to put it in your wife's butt, then it's only fair that, you let her put something in your butt.
Favor.
Yeah. And honestly, my response to that is fair enough. If you're like, "Hey, can I put it in your butt?" And she says, "Only if you let me put something in your butt," your response to that should be like, "Okay, I guess I won't put it in your butt then." That's it. But he talks about pegging. He was talking about pegging, and he said, honestly, letting your wife peg you is like the least gay thing you can do. And my response was, it's not the least gay thing you can do. There's less gay things. In fact, I'd say it's probably the gayest thing you can do with a woman.
The first sentence will make you cringe that something bad's coming, but it won't. Something I've never understood in sex or never gotten into, not to share too much or too am I, but I think wanting to do the butt stuff as well is a bit strange in my that's just never been in me to desire that.
Yeah, to me, it's more like, I mean, if a chick wanted it, I'd do it. But it's never been like a thing where I'm like, I ever thought of trying to convince a woman.
I gotta get into the stinky part. I don't sit there thinking about it like that would be the best thing. I
know. Well, that's where I differ from millennials. It's a weird thing. Millennials got really into ass, and I don't totally understand it. Like millennials will look at you weird if you say, "I don't eat ass."
Yeah.
And be like, "Oh, that's where poop comes out of." So I don't know that I'd put my tongue there unless I was like really drunk and she really wanted it or something. Like, ugh.
Oh, I do have one last thing to share from Rob Henderson, our favorite local social scientist. One of the ways smart righties signal their intelligence is knowingly alluding to the findings on group differences, indulging in jokes, trafficking in casual bigotry, but still treating each person they meet as an individual rather than the statistical average of the group.
Oh, absolutely. That's
100% true.
I make woman jokes all the time, but when I meet a woman, I treat her like a person.
Yeah, 100%. I have never had even the slightest problem with a female boss or any sort of thing like that. I think they're great and they do good work. I don't sit there judging them on their femaleness or any sort of thing like that. And I like whatever sort of average of any sort of group or any sort of thing anywhere, I would each individual I'd meet, I'd just start judging them from there, not from what I presume about the group beforehand. Unless I walk up on them already engaging in an activity, but I guess that's already judging them off of their actions, right? So.
Yep.
But I do presume that most Mexican males walking around have diarrhea. That is my belief. I believe I have the theory that Mexicans are just as intolerant to Mexican food as whites are, and I've developed that theory off of a long line of working in areas with construction zones with a lot of Mexicans at them, and they all seem to take their Mexican food, which for some reason they keep eating Mexican food. Like if we all went and worked construction, like someday when the U.S. collapses and we all have to go work construction in China, is our daily meal still going to be peanut butter and jelly sandwich when they have like Chinese food all around there? Because like it blows Mexicans always eat Mexican. They never don't eat Mexican.
Well, so here's a weird thing. We get a lot in the summer. We get a lot of Chinese tourists, and because they're like on their, it's en route to Yellowstone, and they get on a tour bus. They'll go to Walmart or whatever. But the place you run into them the most is like our Chinese buffets. They're like, really? You're coming all the way to America, and the place you want to eat it? You want to eat at a Chinese buffet in Idaho Falls? Like, I mean, I like the Chinese buffet just fine. I'm not a very picky person. I have the palate of 12-year-olds, so I don't know.
Our Chinese buffets way Americanized food anyway for them.
I don't know. They probably, but it's kind of like me when I was in Brazil. You know, there were a couple places where you could go to sort of an American restaurant. Like really the only American restaurants they had where I was like Subway and McDonald's.
The only thing anywhere near I ever saw was a McDonald's, and it wasn't close. And it was, for the money we would get out there, it was not affordable.
Oh yeah, no, McDonald's was expensive.
I mean, it was just the price that it is here, but you could get that much food for 15 cents.
I remember having just a tiny bit of curiosity in the back of my head, like I wonder what McDonald's is like in Brazil. But in the entire 2 years I was there, I didn't once go to McDonald's. I was like, well, I'm not that curious,
Well, McDonald's made one of our funniest flubs ever because there was an ice cream cone at McDonald's, and that was the first time we came across ice cream cones. And one of my new greenies wanted an ice cream cone, and he went in there and said, "Yo quiero coño." And in Spanish, that is, I want pussy. Yeah, and that really happened too. He turned so red when we told him.
Oh fuck.
And the lady turned red too. Like, he said it. He was so green, he didn't speak very well, but he said that perfectly.
And yeah, Morgan says the Freudian slip. Probably.
Probably. He knew it. He knew. No, he didn't know.
In Portuguese, it was coco and coco. I can't remember which is which, but one of them is coconut and the other one is poop.
Oh no. Yeah. Caca. And no, that doesn't change with accent in Spanish. But yeah.
Or if you tried to Brazilianize an American word, which is like an English word, it's a pretty common way to sort of try to guess what's going. It usually works, honestly. But if you said, and it's probably the same in Spanish, if you said excitado instead of animado, because you're trying to think of, how do I say that I'm excited to teach you about the gospel?
Oh yeah.
And you just literally translate it like I'm super horny to teach you about Joseph Smith.
The one that was the famous lore in Mexico that everybody said happened, and I'm positive really happened at some time, although I never met the actual person who said it. Embarazada sounds like embarrassed, and that means pregnant. And everybody said at one time some lady got up and said, "I'm embarazada, and it's the bishop's fault," and something like that. And I believe that's one of those lore things that I believe actually happened, because it would be so easy to do.
See, in Portuguese, it's engraçada, so it's not something you would mistake. But that's what they would tell you. That like if you wanna, if you're eating and they're trying to give you more food, but you're full, you tell them "Estou engraçada," and if you knew anything about Portuguese, you'd know it doesn't make sense to say that because you're a man, because it ends in an A. Like even when you say thank you, you say obrigado. But if you're a woman, you say obrigada.
Yeah.
And so you would think, wait, that doesn't make sense. But you don't know anything about Portuguese, so they tell you to say tô engraçada. And instead of tô satisfeito, you know. So you tell them, oh no, thanks, I don't need any more food. I'm pregnant.
Yeah. One thing that I know is totally true of Mexicans to try to steel man why they're always eating their Mexican food all the time. Any sort of bread or any sort of thing here for them, to them it's cake. Like whatever our leanest non-sugariest bread to them tastes like cake.
Oh yeah.
They think all of our bread is sugared up, and so they don't want to eat sandwiches. They don't want to eat pizzas. They don't want to eat, it all just curls their teeth. They're like, whatever I think I taste when I go and eat McDonald's burgers, I'm like, everything in this has sugar, and I can taste the extra sugar in each piece of this. But I think they taste that to any sort of food that we eat. So anyway, I gotta go. The dog is impatient with me. So
alrighty.
Thanks for chilling, everybody. Hasta la pasta.
Ciao, señor.
Bye-bye.